Wait, what happens if the system battle model doesn't wear
It's
armor?
broken, Vakken.
It's an actual
Worry
female
about
model.
it afterwards.
I would assume that would look like the Ghost Ultramarine ones if this has the Space Marines don't wear armor.
You can join me in staying up for 12 hours after the
No,
stream.
they actually have
a.
They actually have like a
But it's
physical
broken
model.
right now.
I can help
They
you.
do have a physical model.
That's a lewd.
Cause in the thing, it's showing like there's like 20 like little files, and for me there's only like 10.
By the way, everybody, say hi to the chat.
Hello.
That's lewd.
Welcome to the madness.
So, before we pick up with our campaign, does somebody want to tell me what you guys did last time?
Things that weren't
for like
lewd.
7 months.
Caledon taught us how not to fight terribly.
Nearly summoned a demon.
Gums got out cooked by his sister of battle.
And his ass.
He got his ass handed to him. And
Yeah, we all know he was gonna get
We all
his
we all
butt
knew he was
kicked,
gonna get his ass kicked physically. We thought at the very least he was gonna win the cooking contest, and then he
Yeah,
fucked
that
that
was
up
just
too.
that was just sad.
Man can't even cook right.
Cool. Yeah, so you guys spent your time, approximately 10 weeks, on travel to the through the warp back to Orbita Primaris. And you guys all did, some minor, character development or, some minor tasks here and there, kind of working on recovering from the struggle that was essentially the Forge World of Ragadan. A sister of battle outcooked the Ratling chef slash sniper, and then proceeded to literally smack his ass with the broadside of a shock maul, or shock stick.
What was that screaming in the background?
It was the
Don't worry
whispers
about
of the warp. Don't worry about it.
It's your
Dad?
voice trying to escape.
Father?
No, not those whispers.
No, you would know it was him if it wasn't a smoker's cough.
Hmm.
He went to get weed cigarettes many years ago. He must have rolled a 100
Oh,
on
you-
his land nav.
You guys were referring to clicks. Gotcha. So yeah, others of you decided to, well, McNull, who is not here today, decided to make the guardsman run for what did we calculate, like 20 fucking kilometers?
More or less.
In
It was
20
200
minutes?
something.
Yeah, it was some ridiculous number.
They could have done it.
You're also
You're
a
not-
space marine.
I said they could have done it if they, believed hard enough and also had access to teleportation.
Fair enough. Okay. So yeah. Ice cream was had. Well, excuse me. Frozen Grox cream was had. Shenanigans were created. And I think all the guardsmen got access to brand new Volkite weaponry.
Okay, go for it.
By the way, should we add that as a training talent?
You can make that. You can make that as a proficiency. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So it's the same thing for like if you had like las weaponry or something like that. You can add. You basically add it the same way. But yeah.
Tippity tap.
Killjoy, push to
Yeah.
top.
Sorry.
You're fine. So, you are now coming into system of Orbita Primaris. And that's where we're picking up. Before you is the mighty battle fleet Orbita. The Crusade, the crusading fleet that you all are familiar with. However, much to some of your surprise, and to others an expectation, what now was the fleet that is orbiting Orbita Primaris itself now has many more ships than there was when you left. The entirety of the Second Legio is now present, along with the Starfort, Fortress Monastery of the Myrmidon Legion, the the Olympus Starfort is now also docked in high orbit above Orbita Primaris, alongside with the Gloriana class battleship, Emperor's Endowment, and the whole host of troop carriers and other fleet vessels that made up the crusading fleet. For the sake of brevity, I will say that all of you are on the command deck right now, the bridge of the Unrelenting Fury, as it is burning its way towards the fleet right now.
He
Don't
looks
know.
at the windows like that. I don't think I've ever seen that many Space Marine ships here at once.
I'm gonna keep an eye on Frank to make sure he doesn't press any buttons.
I'm gonna get uneasy that this guy is kind of staring at me.
Yeah, that's fair.
You see Frank blush.
What?
Aw.
I'm kidding.
Are you?
Cannon.
Roll charm.
Roll charm. As the small we'll call it flotilla. Basically, it's you plus your 2 escort ships. Begin to approach, and you're seeing more things that look like stars are now actually just the glints of the hulls of different ships. I attest it to being very similar to the way that the episode 3 of Star Wars, right? How whenever you're really zoomed out, it just looked like it was a bunch of stars against the backdrop of the planet. And then as soon as the camera zooms in, it's actually nothing but a shit ton of fucking ships all fighting each other. Without the fighting, that's actually what it kind of looks like as you guys are coming in.
But there's a lot of shuttlecraft going back and forth.
There's a lot of shuttlecraft going back and forth, especially from the actual Fortress Monastery itself. The usual amount of traffic around the Emperor's Endowment is there. Different Imperial fighters that are that are basically cordoning the ship from the rest of the fleet. And then, of course, you can see that there are plenty of troop carriers moving to and from the surface of the planet itself. As you guys come in, one of the Space Marines looks back towards the Reclusiarch. Reclusiarch, we are ordered to jump ship to the Emperor's Endowment upon our arrival into the Crusade.
As I would have suspected. Are we bringing the guardsmen? I mean, the ones from, the squad that the Inquisitor put together.
The Lord Primarch requests that all parties be present for a debrief.
Very well. Get our ship ready for both groups. Also, get the guardsmen out of my ship.
Yeah.
I will send the message, my lord. As the
Right here, reclusive.
as the ship begins to coming closer, let's see. Let's move over to the Emperor's Endowment picture. Ah! There we go. Ah! There it goes.
Oh, that's loud.
The Unrelenting Fury is not a small vessel of any sort, but alongside the battleship of the Emperor's Endowment, it looks more like a frigate. And as you guys take the short hop, skip, and a jump over to the ship. You guys disembark onto the hangar. Awaiting you is the towering figure of the Primarch, Achilles to Hellenica, his honor guard about him, as well as a small contingent of other officers of the Astra Militarum, and a few dignitaries, presumably probably of either the Adeptus Ministorum, given their robes, or Astra Telepathica. The Primarch looks at you, and over the shared Vox link to the Space Marines, I take it your journey was fairly uneventful?
Not so, but I believe is Breezy here right now? Or Breezy's Caldon?
Breezy will be there with you guys, yeah.
Let's see over the shared Vox link that the true debrief might have to wait until after the interrogator has left because of reasons.
I understand. Then to everyone, all of you, follow me.
Okay.
As he begins to lead you guys back towards the command deck of the ship. You enter a familiar room, the quote-unquote briefing room that you guys used last time. And he motions for all of you to either sit or stand before him. So, would somebody like to tell me what happened?
Well, the good news is that we have managed to convince the Forge World to supply munitions to the Crusade. We already have a shipment of Volkite weaponry as well as one Sky Fortress.
Very good. Your transmission, your astromathic message was not exactly clear in getting to us. What can you tell me?
Well, their long-range communications was damaged, and they have informed us, the Fabricator General, that they are working to repair it.
Very good. So, the Forge, the Forge World is aligned to us then.
Essentially, yes.
I see. Would you care to share any other details?
He kind of holds up a Volkite weapon. They were nice enough to give us this stuff specifically.
I see. Well, he looks kind of at all of you, and then looks back towards the Reclusiarchan apothecary. You can't see it because of the helmet, but you can almost see that he's almost narrowing his eyes at both of them. Tiger Vakken, you almost identify this as like the similar instance of he is expecting you to say more, as though he doesn't necessarily ask questions to, or doesn't ask questions that he doesn't already know the answer to.
I mean, I'm not sure how much I'm comfortable to say Breezy here, you know?
Oh, I know. You're fine.
Well, it is...
He doesn't know, guys. Like, or at least he doesn't know everything.
Debrief would have to. I did say that
Yeah.
debrief would have to go on after, Breezy had left. So hopefully,
well. Yeah. You see as he then kind of steps back on his foot a little bit. Very well. Guardsman, Inquisitor, Interrogator, you may all be excused. I wish to speak to my sons alone. You may return back to your quarters if you wish, or you may return back to the Unrelenting Fury. Either way, nothing has been touched. There'll be more tasks following tomorrow. Until then, you're released.
Yes, sir.
And he waits for a minute as all of you kind of exit the room. Would you like to tell me now?
Yes. Well, it seems that the Forge World has come under new leadership, so to speak.
Your message mentioned some sort of a abominable intelligence that the Mechanicus so histrionically call it.
I believe we have figured out that one of the more archaeology inclined maguses on the Forge World had found an artifact that had contained one of these abominable intelligences, and it had been accidentally turned on and set up shop in the Forge World. We had met with it inside of the inner forge of fucking what was her name?
Celine Mordini.
The Magus Archivist Celine Mordini. It seems that it has somewhat taken control of the Forge World.
What is the nature of this Silica Animus?
It is interesting. It said it wanted to has two directives: one to save humanity, and to kill the enemies of man. Yet the way it had decided to save humanity is by taking their minds or simulating their existence inside of an autonomous robot. I believe about 8 million have already been turned into whatever they were turning them into.
I see. Well then, can we trust this intelligence?
For reason of requiring the interrogator Kaladin out of the room, is through conversations with the intelligence, it seems to not trust us as much, and has implanted some sort of bomb, as it called it, within the interrogator's mind. We're currently unsure about its capabilities. We have not had any Mechanicus or medical assets look at it, as for fear of it exploding, and it seems that the intelligence is connected to the interrogator through that implant. We are unsure of its full capabilities, whether it is able to hear through it, or speak through it, or how long the range goes for.
I do not believe this AI is lying, to be frank, though it is still dangerous, and its way of quote unquote saving humanity needs to be put to a stop.
Well, I'm sure that the general public of the Imperium would be massively improved by sticking their brains inside of a machine body and having a greater intelligence control them. I doubt that this actually fits within the plans of my father. However, I don't see a way out of this yet. But I don't necessarily think we can also allow this intelligence to remain in its current form.
My brothers and I have already found a way of somewhat stalling the AI. We decided that if we were to
You have a plan.
I know
yes,
it is
I know,
rare, isn't
wild,
it,
isn't
Primarch?
it?
I am impressed. Continue, Clusiak.
We know that the AI was originally made to fight the Orc Menace during the time it was created. I believe there is a Orwa inside of this sector. I believe if we were to either send the AI at the Wa or vice versa, it would help slow it down and make it force on preparing its weapons rather than preparing the bodies of those it may enslave, so to speak.
I would say that we should not physically interact with this AI more than we have to. looks like you barely made it out the last time. Therefore, instead of sending the Crusade against the AI, let's send the orcs against the AI and let them run their course. Most Forge worlds are pretty well suited to engaging large-scale threats. And given the fact that Rhydgon is a gas giant world, there wouldn't be any means for the Orc Genos to, or excuse me, Orc Xenos to repopulate themselves. Yes, this is a fairly well thought out plan. Well done, Reclusiarch.
Thank you, Father.
Apparently, Loki, you have had more of an effect upon your brother than you thought.
It is only taking a few thousand years, Primarch.
All things in time, Vulcan. Very well. You may use whatever facilities upon the Emperor's endowment, or back on the fortress monastery that you see fit. Proceed however you wish. I will warn you, things upon Orbita Primaris have not been easy as of late. The mutant that escaped Hansel Hein's lab has grown greater in power, and its army seems to grow without any sort of hampering to its machinations.
Its army? What is it using for its forces?
The populace of the Hive world, particularly those in the Underhive, but it continues to spread its tendrils wherever it can find suitable host. It would seem that our work here upon this planet is not yet done. Take what time necessary that you need to prepare, but I will warn you, the Underhive of Orbita Primaris is all but lost. If we do not find Hansel Hein's experiment, I fear that this particular hive will be lost to us.
Awkward silence.
Well, fuck. Yeah, alright.
Reclusiarch, Primarch, if you excuse me, I require, since Fortress Monastery is present within orbit, I must deliver the gene bags to their proper location. That is viable.
You're excused, Bakken.
And with that, I am going to leave the command room.
Okay. Right now, we have it contained to the Underhive. We've been able to control its movements and preventing it from wreaking too much havoc in other portions of the hive beyond the under.
Have we
However,
engaged in open conflict with it, or has it stayed to the shadows?
the last open conflict that we engaged, it somehow ambushed a kill team of hoplites that were separated from my command, and all but ripped in asunder. Therefore, every other engagement that we have witnessed of it, it has seemingly escaped, only to come up somewhere else. It seems to be using much of the ventilation ducts to the underhive to move around. And since those are not perfectly mapped out, it's able to essentially mask its movements. For right now, we have it contained.
What is your current plan on dealing with it? Surely this will not stall the whole crusade.
No. This will not stall my crusade. If necessary, I will burn the entire hive to the ground, along with it. However, much of the Astra Militarum commanders present, and other dignitaries, as he looks over to the corner, have cautioned me to not be so hasty in my decisions. Their stalling will only, well, they will only decide that decision for so long before I make the final call. I'm hoping that you and your brother and your squad will find another way.
We will complete this task you have entrusted with us, Primarch.
I know you will, Clusiarch. You are dismissed.
I'm gonna give a salute and walk out.
He nods towards you and follows you out before separating and going the opposite direction. As for the rest of you, what are you guys up to? You're back on your home ship.
Well, after getting everything settled, like all our new gear put away, etc., etc. Let's see. Anybody else want to try and head down planet side, see what's changed?
Emmy will join.
I have a
Frank will
delivery I
join.
must acquire.
Hello.
Why are we going down to the planet?
Get a visual update on topography and such. See what's broken. See what.
It's
Might
a
have
hive
changed.
planet. There's going to be hives. Unless everything's on
yes, Captain
fire and
Obvious.
burning, it's going to look the same, primarily.
Oh, don't be such a Debbie Downer.
Maybe you should check and look and see if it's an active war zone and if it's being bombed before you go down there.
Or we could also just head down and get a drink.
Emmy's down for a drink.
It-
Or
You want to
10.
have a drink in an active war zone.
If it's an active war zone.
That
But
sounds
it
dope.
means more drinking.
Burr, you've obviously not drunk in an active war zone. You're missing out.
Something doesn't seem right here.
How so?
The thought process behind that. Never mind.
Yeah, probably.
Look, man, I am better when I'm drunk.
Departmental Minitorum reports state that a guardsman provide the extra rations of alcohol in a active combat situation, or more likely to stand and hold their ground by a 12.5%.
That depends on who it is. Some
I'm
days
not
it's
a
less, some
guardsman.
days it's more. I mean, if
But
you're
how often do they actually give us the right equipment like alcohol? They'll just take it for themselves and give us extra recaf and say there was an issue with the form.
Maybe.
Or it'll
Regardless,
just
I
all
have a
wind up in
delivery.
the,
I have a delivery plant site I must acquire.
or it'll just all wind up in the RSM's office.
You talk like I'm an excessive drinker, Sergeant.
The RSM's an excessive drinker.
And yet, he is nowhere to be seen.
Probably because he was excessively drinking.
Exactly.
We should probably check and see if there's some kind of plan for what we're actually supposed to be doing before we just wander off and go down to a planet.
That's fair. I'm just spitballing ideas.
Since, as far as I'm aware, we're not currently on rest and relaxation.
Hold up. The word plan is in the word planet. I think that's a clue.
Oh boy.
God damn it.
By
Lear.
Jove, he's done it.
Glad to have you back, Frank.
I have no idea why I just said any of that. It just came naturally.
Because you're a genius.
Keith pats Frank's shoulder. It's all right. It'll come back to you eventually.
What'll
One
come
day
back?
he's
My
gonna
dad?
remember, yes, I'm an idiot.
No, Clicks is not in this campaign. Sorry.
Oh.
Oh.
Aw.
He just starts heading towards a shuttle. He's going to the fight regardless.
There are plenty of shuttles that are going to and from the ship. There are also shuttles going from this ship to the Fortress Monastery and other nearby large vessels. Most of those are either Astra Militarum, Imperial Navy. A few Astartes, Thunderhawks, and Stormbirds are traveling to and from. Basically, and those are those are very overtly going to and from the Fortress Monastery. Most of them, while full birds of Thunderbirds and Stormbirds are actually heading to and from the planet as well.
While he's looking around,
yeah.
Libra's just going to hop into the noosphere of the ship and get a rough idea of how, what sectors of, what portions of the hive are and are not on fire currently.
So, as you access the noosphere, there are a handful of Mechanicus assets attached to the Crusading fleet. Majority of those are there's a Titan Legion, or a section of a Titan Legion that has been deployed with the Crusade, as the Indominus Crusade has taken up the vast majority of Mechanicus assets. You would understand this, having come from Mars, that the nature of the Orbita Crusade was to gather the support along the way, rather than to have the support to begin with and then make its way through. But there is a portion of a Titan Legion that's attached to the Crusade fleet, and they have not yet been deployed. As no Mechanicus forces, other than what the Hive City has itself, have been actually activated and deployed to the surface for frontline engagements. The vast majority that the Mechanicus are talking about are the portions of the Adeptus Astartes and Astra Militarum forces that are being deployed down to the surface of the planet to fight off the mutagenic hordes that have essentially just taken over the Underhive. While this hasn't put too much of a hampering on the Hive's production output as of yet, it is concerning at the rate that the Underhive was basically taken over by the mutants. Thusly, to answer your question, the only thing that you gain access to is that the Underhive is quarantined. Hasn't been they haven't considered it lost yet, but it has been quarantined and sectioned off.
Interesting. So the mid, upper, and spire hive portions of the hive are good, correct?
Yes. In fact, the vast majority of the upper hive and spires are completely oblivious to the fight that's going on in the other hive.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
No, that's true.
They were just gonna keycom is gonna look for a ride up into the upper hive, somewhere near where where the shop that he got the weapon interfaces and the custom order made.
So the upper hive, or the hive governor right now, essentially has just given an entire section of the upper hive over to the Crusade, in hopes that their forces will both bolster local support and help him, maintain power over the populace, but also out of fear for what's happening down in the underhive. The landing pad that you guys used before is still there and being used quite heavily, but you now also have access to other portions of the hive directly, should you desire. You can find a Valkyrie ride back down to the surface, to roughly the same portion of the upper hive that you started out before. And that ride leaves in about 30 minutes.
He was just gonna go on squad comms and inform, and begin to inform everyone. Guardsmen, there is currently a ride leaving the shuttle bay 005, heading towards a upper hive landing pad in a green zone. If you wish to take it, it is available. It leaves in 30 minutes.
If nothing else, we can head down there, pick up the tech priest stuff, see if we can pick up any supplies. What's that?
We just got home. Who's already out doing things?
What's that? It sounds like bitch in here.
We could also
He's
head
not
down,
wrong.
pick up some actual, I don't know, food stuff, gums. Let you work on that.
Gums
crafting, 'cause
is
you're
just suddenly perks up. I detect this as some sort of tactical strategy towards this expedition. I kind of
So-
rubs his chin.
Before you guys all get super excited about going down and finding Gum's food for some reason, let me check and make sure we're actually allowed to, so you don't get down there, come back, and then you're all shot in the head for whatever reason.
They have
Query.
to secretly shoot me first.
It's
The
best part.
Primarch made the assertion that we are to report in the next day.
He did say we were dismissed.
We are dismissed until the following day.
Right,
Does that
yeah.
not mean you are off duty?
That doesn't necessarily mean you're free to leave the ship, though.
Does have a point.
Then we'll sneak out.
We were just gonna ring up the chief apothecary.
Good boy.
Apothecary Vakin. You get a Vox chime. It's the tech priest.
Yes.
I plan on taking myself and the guard complement along with the Adeptus down planet side. Is that agreeable with the current parameters of our duties?
I am not in charge of you, nor am I your direct superior officer. If you're asking if it's any issue with me, no, none whatsoever.
Understood. And then you're just gonna hear him click off the channel.
Our talks are nice.
Yeah, don't bother you at 2 in the fucking morning with AMSEC and recaf.
I mean,
He's just gonna switch right back to squad comms. Chief Apothecary Vakin acknowledges and approves and it signs off on us heading down to planet side.
You are aware that he's a space marine and not part of the Imperial Guard, correct?
No,
Query.
someone said
The
we could do
regimental
it,
sergeant
therefore we can do
major
it.
is the regimental sergeant major is currently engaged, and thus the next chain of command would be up to the Inquisitor, who is currently engaged. The next follow-up would be the Reclusiarch, who I will not call, followed up by the Chief Apothecary, who I did call.
Is that
What
fear
exactly-
I hear in your voice? in your vox submission?
Last time I directly called the Reclusiarch, he destroyed one of my servitors.
Ah. Cool. I'm gonna call Tiger.
Okay, let's go down to the planet then. That sounds like good logic to me.
Nope. Carly said he's calling Tiger.
Uh-oh.
Tiger, you hear a chime, a fox chime. It's the shock trooper.
Wait, how did he get this number? I say to myself in disbelief. This is after
I'm a
Ivan
member
speaks,
of the
right?
Inquisition. Tiger,
This is after
I
the
know
meeting,
things.
yes.
All right. I'll pick up.
Do you respond?
Hello? Reclusiarch?
How have you gotten this number?
I'm a member of the Inquisition. I know things.
Member of the Inquisition now, are you? Amazing. Now I have to hide stuff from you. I mean, what is it you require?
Dude, you should just answer as a ratling.
To be the most appropriate person to call in order to get my new rifle sanctified.
Bro,
Wow, amazing. You want me to bless your rifle? Why don't you ask the Ecclesiarchy?
Yeah, but I don't know their
Isn't it
number.
his job?
that is not his job.
What is his job?
You
Okay, then.
just told me you were a part of the Inquisition. If you can't get your rifle sanctified,
That's your problem.
that is your problem.
Alright, well, can you tell me their numbers so I can go into my rifle sanctified?
Tiger, and I quote, I'm part of the Inquisition, I know things.
This is how he knows things, by the way. He complains to other people to tell him.
Yeah.
Just block his
Find a
number.
monastery. Give them your number. I don't know. Just stop bothering me with this.
Carly.
By the way, would Keith have heard that over the comms? Or at least
this
Krylov's side of
is
things?
well, you would hear you might hear Krylev through his helmet. It's not the well, it's medically sealed.
Dang it.
You might hear, it depends on how close you are. But Alarian, if you would please give me I'm going to check your character sheet real quick to see if you actually have this.
I probably don't.
Check
You
demonology.
might. No. This is not that.
Summon a demon, have it answer your
You know what? No,
questions.
you would actually get this. So yeah, give me a intelligence check. Plus 15.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's why we don't do those.
Oh,
Ooh.
That's a
that's
95.
bad.
Would you like to reroll?
Yeah, sure, I'll reroll for that.
Okay.
Alright,
Okay.
no more
Alarian-
rerolling for that.
You seem to remember in recent conversation about a monastery in space.
Oh boy.
Space monastery.
I think the Astartes called it a fortress monastery.
Yeah, it sounds like a great idea. I'll go call them.
Okay. Is that the end of your
Okay.
conversation with Tiger?
That is the end of my conversation
Okay.
with Tiger. Bye, Reclusiarch. I'm sorry for bothering you.
Click.
I say goodbye.
Yes.
What a dick. Okay.
Tiger needs to be tickled.
So, Alarian, Tiger has told you go find a monastery. The only monastery that you know about is the fortress monastery that's right next to the fucking Imperial Emperor's endowment.
So we all forgot about the cathedral
Oh,
down on
that
the
was what that
planet.
roll. That's what that roll was for.
Oh, sorry. Never mind.
I mean, I don't know about you guys.
Oh wait, the trash? Oh yeah, I'd remember the trash.
Obviously, you didn't.
That was what the intelligence.
Also, thanks to specific wording on Tiger's part, he told you
Yeah,
to go
I'm
find a
here.
monastery.
Dang it.
I remember standing outside of my favorite pile of trash, but I don't remember where it was.
I mean, you could go back down to the cathedral on the planet, sure. But if you want to follow Tiger's rules,
Is
Tiger
Tiger
told you.
smarter? Is Tiger smart and wise?
I mean,
That
it's
is
not a
the
salt
question.
doctrine
He gave
check,
me a
so
truthful
maybe.
answer.
Is Tiger smart and wise? Well, here's the question. You want to roll an intelligence check for that as well?
Oh no.
It's an opposed versus assault doctrine.
Hey, my man.
I nearly just spit out my coffee.
I'm gonna roll
Well,
an
don't
intelligence
do
check.
that.
Tiger isn't smart.
Hold on, you have to roll against my assault doctrine, like you said.
I'm gonna roll an intelligence check to see if Valerian knows to trust Tiger or not.
Oh boy.
Do I get a modifier?
For what? Demonology?
No.
Oh,
Why would this be demonology?
I don't know. I just
Wait a second. Hold on. Why does knowing anything about Tiger require demonology checks? Hold on a second.
Does anybody want to know
what?
how he's able to attack 16 times in one hit?
I thought it was just
Don't
fucking
question
crap loads
it.
of cocaine.
Could be. We have
Demon
people
cocaine.
for-
Probably. Alright, here we go.
He fought some Emperor's children, stole their
Damn.
cocaine
Oh
stash.
crap.
I'm gonna trust Tiger.
Okay.
Oh man, I feel nice. I still got more reasons. to
Sorry
sus.
for you.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing, Tiger. Would it be more beneficial for an assault doctrine for people to think you're smart, people to think you're stupid?
Look.
Mm.
Don't
Assault doctrine is necessary.
Okay. So now I'm gonna go ask somebody else about a monastery to double check my facts, and then I'm gonna go there.
Who would
Yes.
know more than the head reclusiarch of a legion?
The tech priest, because the tech priest knows things.
I mean, sure, you could ask me.
All right. I'm gonna find Liebrecht and ask.
You don't have to find me. You know where I am. My guy literally said where he was. He was waiting for your fuckers to get on the ship.
And I'm gonna find Liebrecht and
So Lieber told you exactly where he is. He's in the hangar. You find him.
Yep.
He's the only he's the only tech priest not doing something, which is
lazy.
I don't know.
I mean, he's not doing anything productive to the grand scheme of things. He's just fiddling with his shit.
He's
Or
he's
yeah.
doing busy work for himself that he's given himself.
okay. So I'm gonna walk up to Liebrecht and ask him. All right. Hey, tech priest.
One of the service calls just flies over like barely an inch from your face. How may I assist you?
I asked the Ecclesiarch about getting my weapon sanctified, and he told me to find a monastery. Do you know anything about that?
Query. What do you mean by sanctified?
It hurts demons better.
Query. Do not all weapons hurt demons?
Mm, demons regenerate, but sanctified weapons mean the damage stays instead of letting them regenerate.
It's actually a good question. Templar, go ahead and roll me. Do you have Forbidden Lore warp or?
No,
Yeah.
he just seen people shoot demons and demons die. So guns kill demons.
Guns kill everything.
That's my logic of guns kill. There's
Okay.
nothing a gun hasn't killed yet.
There's nothing on God's green
He has
earth
a
that a
point.
gun hasn't killed.
Why is Adeptus Mechanicus a forbidden lore for you?
It's because I get to know the secret shit you're not supposed to know about the Mechanicus.
Okay.
It's because
Like
there's
all
three
the secret
tiers
orders
of,
and the secret shit.
Okay. Yeah.
there,
you're fine
there are
with that.
3 tiers of lords you can know for something.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Keep going. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, tech priest, a member of the ecclesiarch like blesses your weapon or sanctifies it, it hurts demons better. Because-
Query: why would you ask the cult of the machine about the cult of man?
I don't know, because you're supposed to know shit. Like I am, but
Query: I'm
not.
not educated on the cult of man.
Damn it,
You
where's the
expect I to
Inquisitor
be?
when you need her?
The Inquisitor has put a do not disturb on all of her digital communications, all of her direct call communications, and physical communications.
Right. Can you just tell me where the fuck I can find a monastery?
Query:
Where's the nearest monastery?
by monastery, do you mean large cult of man art building?
Yeah, sure.
All I can
Possibly
think
one
of.
on Upper Hive. Upper Hive nobles are prone to grand displays of wealth, possibly including building large displays of religious fervor to God Emperor, as you call
but
him.
isn't there a fucking monastery floating next to us or something?
Librik, you would know that the large floating star fort that is next to the Emperor's endowment is classified as a fortress monastery. Which
Well, see,
is
here's the
close
thing.
enough.
That's a fortress subclassification monastery. He's asking specifically for a monastery, not a fortress that also is a monastery.
Okay, fine. Don't do funny shit then.
Don't be intelligent.
You gonna answer? Or... Did I break the tag brace?
Sorry, someone just asked me something in real life.
How dare they kill them?
Why are you breaking my immersion?
Anyway.
Librik.sa.exe has failed to load. Please close and try again.
I think I broke the tag brace.
Best solution would be to
You're
go
ruining
planet
my
side.
immersion.
Oh.
I'm
So
kidding.
so I'm gonna have to go planet side for this. Oh well. Damn it.
About this time, I think Keith.
As a member of the Inquisition, I would have assumed you would have knowledge of such things on your own person or your own records. I assumed wrong.
See, you'd think.
You think that? Yeah. Do I look like I carry books on me?
I mean,
About this time, Keith would roll up. Probably a recent promotion there, Tech Priest. Don't worry about it.
I can assist you with your mental faculties in future.
No. I do
You just
not.
notice another servo skull flying, and the two start circling your head like they're trying to take measurements.
I don't consent to modification just yet. Sorry.
Just yet.
You do not consent for measurements for possible modifications.
Fuck. Fair enough.
Yeah, by the way, I was digging around a couple options. Found something called synth muscle. Think you'd like it a lot.
Yeah. Does it work in a bad field where tech shuts down? I forget the name of it right now.
That is the question. Yeah.
Synthetic muscles are vat-grown muscles that are that are grown to a higher standard than your current muscles. They are still of organic flesh.
So probably. All right. Is there any negatives?
Higher tier of higher tensile strength have shown to reduce your ability to do fine motor functions.
So basically, you get Ogren strength, but also Ogren fingers.
That is good assessment.
Agile, so I'll just take common stuff if we ever get to it. Not like I push people a lot.
Keith then looks to the Sister of Battle and Frank. You guys jumping on too?
Yep.
Sure.
Hey, by the way, Frank, where's Steve?
Who?
Ah, dang, I forgot you didn't know who it was. Keith then tries to cue the combeat. Hey, Steve, could you show up at the
wait?
At the freaking hangar if you're around?
Steve's dead.
Steve's dead.
Frick. Never mind.
Steve's not dead.
Wait, what?
He's not dead.
He's not dead. Yeah,
I got it backwards.
he's not here.
He's not dead, he's alive. As the scriptures said.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I'm also going to walk into the hangar and get on the ship and look at everyone. So I'm going to come along and make sure you guys don't get in too much trouble.
Fine by me.
We're not
I
gonna
think
get
he's
in
gonna
trouble.
stop
Is that
me.
Steve?
No, it isn't. That's Sergeant Mad Marker. Or Marcus.
I mean, kind
go
of looks like a
Sergeant
Steve to
Mark.
me. I can't put my placement on it though.
Where you have in past referred to multiple guardsmen as Steve entity.
So they're all
Including-
Steve.
Correct.
Oh.
By your classification.
Okay. By my class, wait, what?
Yeah,
My
you kind
classification
of had a
stated
habit of
about-
calling everyone Steve.
You, would
Are
call,
we-
you also
That's
called Adeptus Astartes.
Stupid.
The
Big
Valkyrie
Steves.
begins to take off. I'm just saying, so that
But
you
are
can-
we
inside of it,
lowercase
yes?
s Steve or uppercase s Steve?
How the fuck do I know? That sounds like. Why would someone just call everyone Steve? Except that little midget over there. That's a tiny Steve. I don't know why I think that. It's just. Look at him.
Like, best
He's
assumption
got-
I can based on your
Some of them.
Based on himself.
best estimate I
What?
could base is it was to make it easier for you to identify them as dehumanize them to allow you to do various actions to and against them and only see them as a Steve collective, allowing you to not feel guilt or anguish of wronging them.
I'm sorry, what?
That was deep.
And kind of messed up.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. You're a Steve. He's a Steve. She's a Steve. It still sounds stupid.
Reminder, you are
Take
still
your time.
banned from all sectors marked for Adeptus Mechanicus. If you are found for the 15th time, you will be exterminated on site.
What does that mean?
I was the one
What?
who did the felony, and I didn't get any trouble.
You have
What?
been warned.
This must all be very confusing.
He speaks
Yeah.
up. I think you had a habit of wandering into tech priest locations, and as you've heard rather obviously, they get a little upset when you start poking things. So there's
I'm gonna cough loudly.
That explains the giant cannon in my room.
The Valkyrie shakes and kind of vibrates as it begins to enter the atmosphere.
if you're talking about the autocannon, that's actually yours.
No, I'm talking about. Actually, never mind.
Okay, we'll talk about it later.
Special cannon.
He's sleeping with a Vanquisher cannon. It's fine.
In what context of sleeping with do you mean?
Probably the same way you do.
Take your pick.
Giggity.
That is an unauthorized use of the Vanquisher cannon.
Granted, but good luck
You're not
telling this
there.
tech priest not to.
I know, I'm just making fun.
By the way, Tiger, does let me see. There's a couple things that are still on the Unrelenting Fury that technically are under your care. Is Kairon going back to the Emperor's Endowment, or does Kairon stay on the Unrelenting Fury?
The answer to that question is the same question as where am I going to be operating out of?
Technically, right now you have a choice. You have a choice of 3 different areas. You can go back to the Fortress Monastery. You can stay on the Emperor's Endowment, or you can stay on the Unrelenting Fury. Your choice. The 3 of those options won't actually change the Astartes mission loadouts.
Yeah, just
Go
whichever
down and
ones
take
I
a
fancy.
take a block of the upper hive.
Technically, that's a choice for the squad in question. The safe house that was in the hive was never actually taken from you guys, and it was never reacquired. Technically, you can take it back, or you can stay there if you want to stay.
Was it in the upper hive?
Mhm.
How neat.
It was
We
a
can sell
it was
that
a-
shit when we leave.
It's not yours to sell. It's the Inquisitions, but the Inquisition hasn't reclaimed it, so to speak, because it's technically Inquisitor Tunis, and it's used for her investigation since you guys are still under her charge. That has never actually been taken from you guys. You guys just chose to stay on the ship.
Safe house was too comfy, basically.
I mean, it was your guys' choice. You can, I mean, if you wish to stay down on the planet, you can stay down on the planet. If you wish to stay on the ship, you can stay on the ship. The Space Marines can technically stay on the Fortress Monastery. Quarters can be made for the squad to be in the Fortress Monastery as well. And of course, you guys can stay on the Unrelenting Fury if you wish, as your quarters are still there, so long as Tiger will allow you to.
Given how quickly we were moved off the ship, I don't think it's likely.
I expect to shortly be acquainted with what the organics call a house party full of alcohol. If we do go there,
I've got a sleeping bag. I'll just nap wherever.
you at least look for comfort.
No, fuck it. Fuck your comfort.
Bold words.
Alarian sleeps on the floor.
Yeah,
in
but
armor.
it's different between. There's still a difference between fucking just a metal floor and one that's made out of mahogany.
I've got a sleeping
Mahogany?
bag. I'll throw the bag down. It's probably just a fucking foam mattress, not even a blanket. And I'll just sleep in the armor. My armor is...
Roll me a 1d3.
Uh-oh.
Mahogany. Roll 3 and get mahogany.
Your quote-unquote sleeping bag is
Oh, no.
2 pieces of fabric with a thin layer of foam. By thin, I mean it's like maybe a half an inch. That can be zipped up to be in kind of a cocoon for a human.
You know, it's good enough.
And a blanket, because it specifically states
Oh,
blanket.
and a blanket.
Yeah.
What color is it?
Not bad.
What color is
Bit
it?
brown.
That
It
can
used
be
to be
important.
white, but because
Hold on.
it's so
What color is it?
shit
That needs a
brown, there's bunch of
1d100.
stains all over it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, let's do
That's-
1d100. Let's see.
Oh, God. This could potentially be important if we go camping.
It made
What
it
is
shit
it?
stains
I'll be
all
right
over
back.
Oh.
I mean, it's a color spectrum.
Okay, give me a second.
Okay.
And before it's magenta.
Really hope it's not bright.
it. Hope it's hot ass pink.
It's hot pink.
It's
You're
Solomon.
I'll just be sleeping in the fucking dirt then.
And just cover it. Well, you could just cover it in like dirt.
It is
Covered.
neon green.
A.
Lovely.
Make sure to remember to gouge your eyes out every time you use it.
Wait, is it a neon green that's painted with stuff so it pops out at night as well?
I mean,
Is it covered?
neon green. It sticks out by its own self. It does have an quill on it though.
Something.
It reminds you, Alarian, of your childhood sleeping bag.
Oh,
In fact, you're almost sure that it may be the same one.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
that old.
40.
There's a little Laren in there with a fucking switchblade swinging it.
34 years old. Woo. 35.
It's a marvel you remained so short.
Short. 6'6" is short.
Hot shorty.
Technically, most tech priests are taller than you.
Yeah, my character's taller than you.
I have a friend who's 6'8".
Anyway,
Girlfriend's 5'2".
so you guys touch down in the upper hive. It's a comforting, familiar sight that seems to be completely untouched by war or strife. To some of you, this is sickening. To others of you, this is orderly. And yet to others of you, this is disgusting by the fact that people don't actually know what's going on. But you're here. And as the Valkyrie takes on passengers who are heading up from the hive back to the crusading fleet, and takes off, you guys are left to your own devices.
Well, we want to do things one at a time, or what?
Maybe just starts heading directly towards the shop.
Emmy wants to go to the bar,
Yeah,
but she'll go with him to the shop first.
One at a time would probably be best, so I can keep an eye on all of you.
That's fair. We'll save the bar for last, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
Please do not
So-
create incidents, scenes, or disruptions at these while I pick up my possessions.
Fair enough.
Who wishes to go first?
I think that we're going on the
shop.
Well,
shop.
I'm gonna go get my shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Liebert, give me a idea. Send me a direct message. What was it you're exactly looking for? Because I have to send the message to Atuni. Because she was the one that was
She never told me what it was.
What, like a special package?
Yeah, he said he was gonna make me some kind of custom cybernetic, and then Hatuni said I was gonna wait. I wouldn't know until I picked it up.
He's getting drugs.
Gotcha.
It's probably drugs.
Yeah. Hey, you got that
You want
spice?
some special sauce?
If he gives me if he gives me the fucking I mean, there's some shit that the Depths of Cancus has as drugs, and they have it because it turns you into fucking electro priest.
Yeah.
It's fucking fire, literally.
Right, so I'm on a quest to get my weapon sanctified. All of these other people are here to get fucking wasted.
Can you just pray on it hard enough?
Go ahead and add mystery package back to your inventory. And I'll have to find out from Hatuni what that package was.
Okay.
This is one of the things that she was doing all by herself.
It's just gonna come in a brown paper bag right now.
Let's say that it's in a highly ornate and adorned with Mechanicus etchings, obsidian box. The symbol of the Mechanicus is adorned in a brass and steel icon on it, and the gentleman at the counter, which I don't remember what his name was because this was.
I never got a name.
It's Hatuni's thing. But yeah, he tells you do not open this unless you're alone.
Oh well.
Dick pics.
Yeah,
that's never gonna happen.
Feet pics.
Dick pics.
Oh no,
actually-
no, we're not getting into that heresy.
This is actually it's mechadendrite pics.
Oh.
Oh, those are even.
Someone snuck into Call Sanctuary, took pictures of his fucking mechadendrites again. I see.
Huh?
Don't mind me relogging. There we go.
Fine. So,
Yep.
you guys are in the Mechanicus section of the Upper Hive. I mean, by Mechanicus section, it's basically just a local forge temple. So, what would you guys like to do?
Let's see. We got the tech priest stuff. Want to try and knock out?
The bar?
No. We're saving that last. I think I remember us offering to pick up some groceries or something for gums.
Yeah.
I
The rat.
like to.
This would be the place to get him.
Like to
I mean,
mention
not
that
the
last time.
not the forge temple, but I mean,
Yeah.
We're at
Barry,
a bar.
does anyone have thrones on them?
Let me look.
I got 38.
I should be.
Tom just kind of
carrying-
jumps on his comrade's back and starts going through the backpack.
There should be more thrones at the safe house if needed.
I have
Also-
1,500.
The last time we were at
Rich
a
girl.
bar, the Reclusiarch blew it up with a melta bomb.
Oh wait, all my.
Dang it! That's right.
It's okay. There are no survivors to tell anybody what
Barry,
happened.
would it not be possible to ensure the security of the safe house and then use it to both collect the groceries and to collect the alcohol and drink it in a more contained and secure location?
But bars
Tech
are
priest
fun.
Tech priest wishes to take part in house party.
Bars might be more, as you call, fun. However, this organization has a habit of turning bars from operational to into ruins.
You
This
don't
is
actually know about
entirely
that.
true.
He read
No,
in the
he's
file
been like
somewhere.
every time, like considering how destructive they are overall. No way they're not gonna destroy something drunk. He's just assuming. He doesn't know about melta bombing.
Um,
Considering how much of a fucking mess they make of their own goddamn ship while they're sober.
they haven't actually made a mess of
We haven't really done anything.
either one of the ships. The only time they actually made a mess was they used a large fucking vehicle mounted cannon to blow a hole in a fucking bar, and then used a melt bomb to bring the bar down to the ground. But
And nothing of value
He
was
blames the
lost.
crimes of
To be
Frank
honest,
on
the
the
bar
entire
asked for
regiment.
it.
So
It was
The
the
bar
way
had
the bar
comment.
was dressed, really.
It
yeah, I
had
mean,
a comment.
yeah, they looked at you funny. I understand.
As long as there's no buttons.
We're gonna take our break a little bit early. I have a business phone call I need to make. Or excuse me, a business call that's coming through right now. So we're gonna take our break just a little early. Be back at 6:10, please.
All right, 20-minute break.
Hooray. Longer than usual. I'll be back. I'm feeling nauseous.
I don't know what's going on with Vietnam.
China
North
still
Korea is
fit-
North Korea.
North Korea identifies itself as a communist dictatorship. China identifies itself as a communist.
I don't care
This,
what China
communist
identifies
system?
itself as. It's authoritarian capitalist. I don't care what they call themselves. We'll go on.
Technically,
The People's
No.
Republic
like
of China.
so,
But it's also
China
not what
China
we're here
is a
talking
is a
about.
communist is a communist government. The capitalist part will be the hard part to sell because technically all the companies that are in China that are not owned by a U.S. company, the companies that are Chinese companies are owned by the Chinese government. So the economy in China is technically owned by the government itself, which distinctly makes that non-capitalist. Again, it's all perspective, really, but because of that, China would not be an actual capitalist country.
Just because the Chinese government has a greedy piece of the pie, much like every other government has a greedy piece of the pie, doesn't mean it's not capitalist.
It's
just
there's
a
a
No,
difference
that's-
between.
It blatantly has a greedy piece of pie, but every government has.
Spartan, do you know what communism is?
So my understanding of communism is
Spart, what was on your
government
roof?
is what?
What was
A
on your
hole,
roof?
apparently.
A whole.
Oh,
Why?
I
What
like
the fuck?
the words. The words "something is on my roof" does not usually kind of put something in my mind pertaining to a hole. Usually, I think
What?
of something like I thought you're talking about. There's some kind of like animal on your roof or person.
I've
Not-
already
not-
been through
not
that.
a hole on your
I've been
roof.
through that in my last neighborhood. I can move on from that.
Yeah, it's a hole in your roof. You know.
No, my last neighborhood had issues with living organisms on my roof. I've went past that.
I like how you
Somebody-
describe them as living organisms on my roof.
Living organisms.
Well, he doesn't define them as people.
He's not like birds or like even insects. Living organisms on my roof.
Living organisms. I don't identify them. For you to be on my roof, I think it was sometime during the evening. I think it was like 4 or 5, and I was trying to steal. I think I had a Zabuka tree, and I think they were trying to steal it.
Can I get on your roof? Am I allowed on
No.
your roof?
No.
Hey, Spartan, if
Nobody's
we all
Why am I
came
not?
over,
roof
Are you
on
gonna
that
we
call
all
me a
come on
living
your
organism
roof.
if I get on your roof?
Yeah.
Spartan, you can't stop Saul from getting on your roof.
You want to bet?
Yes.
I once dated a girl from the Dominican Republic.
Did she get on your roof?
Was she on your
Did
roof?
you get on your roof?
No, but she used to like tell stories about like, yeah, when I lived in the DR, I had to chase away monkeys from my lawn. I was like, the fuck?
Yeah. No. I know somebody who owns a monkey.
The fuck?
Yeah.
Listen, just because your parents own you doesn't mean.
Oh man, I'm glad we're not streaming for that one.
Oh, we are. Yeah.
Oh,
they can hear.
Yeah, it's
Nobody
very
clip
reports
that.
us. That should be the last episode, especially with the current climate. That's excessively rude. No, it's a small little.
Apologies, Spart. I do love you. I do want to let you know that.
What I love right now is XL and chat is still on the People's Republic of China and the nature of their economy. XL is the only one having an actual intelligent conversation right now.
Intelligent.
With
Hold on. Are you saying this talking about my neighborhood is not intelligent?
We're talking
neighborhood
about
you live on.
having human beings on your roof and people that own
if they're playing a
monkeys.
fiddler, they're playing a fiddle, then it's apparently fine.
No, owning monkeys is totally legit. You need a license for it, but it's totally legit.
Look, bro, I ain't letting a monkey get anywhere near my house.
Like, Wait,
why
you
are
can't
you
talk about me
inside
about
your house?
monkeys. You live in the same country where there's an entire documentary dedicated to a guy who owns tigers.
I mean, I like tigers. It's in my name.
And that's even more retarded than owning a monkey.
It is technically a jungle cat, which could
Look,
maul you,
tigers
rip you to
are-
shreds, and snack on the remains.
Tigers
Yeah,
are
all
danger
monkeys gonna do
cats.
is just throw his fecal matter at you.
No,
I don't. I would rather
there's,
get mauled to death, honestly.
there's
than
people
throw
who've had their
fecal matter
face
at
and
me.
fingers ripped off by monkeys.
No. See. There's a difference between a giant ape that can wrestle Tarzan to the floor, and there's a difference between a small little chimpanzee who would instantly run away as soon as you bring
Chimpanzees
out the
ain't fucking
cutlass.
small. They're big as shit.
Uh,
I mean-
chimpanzees are pretty vicious.
Yeah, we're
There's
not
also
talking about.
baboons.
You have never seen a monkey run away from a guy with a cutlass.
Why is someone chasing
Oh
a
my
monkey with a fucking knife?
Why
they're
won't
hungry.
you? You have to defend your property somehow. Snakes
what else
live in
would
an
you
area
beheaded.
with fucking
Monkeys
monkeys everywhere.
chopped. Oh, there's some monkeys everywhere. You gotta go really deep in. We got deep in the bush with monkeys.
Fucking A Exorcist.
Hey, you know it fits.
Oh, shut up, Exorcist. That's awful.
Alright, well, is everybody back? No?
I'm an alcoholic. What?
I've been having margaritas ever since we started. I feel great.
Yeah?
Oh boy. Starting to think we should get to the
We're
bar
gonna say
sooner
Frank
now.
was sipping one of those Amsac bottles. This is
I-
gonna be great.
Don't know why I said that.
Yes.
Alrighty. So, as we get back, you guys are exiting the Mechanicus Forge Temple. Temple Forge. Temple Forge? Forge Temple. Forge Temple. And you guys are basically making your way back into the Imperial part of the, or the vast majority of the Hive. Essentially what it is. I don't know why I keep wanting saying the Imperial part of it, because it's basically an Imperial Hive with some Mechanicus people. So, you guys are basically walking along the street around the upper part or the upper hive. For the most part, it's a little bit less congested than it was when you were originally here. There's a lot more military presence and a lot more PDF presence than there was previously, to be expected, of course. And you do see the occasional kill team of Astartes going to, basically entering and leaving different parts of the hive that you can see. The interesting part of this is that some of it, while the vast majority of them, like 99% of them, are all Second Legion Astartes, you do see the occasional Salamander squad that basically moves to and from. If you guys, I don't know if you guys kept up with it or not, but if you remember, probably about almost 30 episodes ago, the Salamanders did officially join in on the Crusade. At least the essence of them that were here, present within the segment of Pacificus. This is all story driven mostly, but you do see the occasional rarity, of course, but a squad of Salamanders join alongside the Legionnaires as they go down to the Underhive, or they are basically leaving the Upper Hive sector. And of course, you do see the plethora of your brethren of the 700th Cadian also make their way down. There are other Astra Militarum units here as well, but most of them are now all being converted over to the 700 Cadian, as the Primarch doesn't really. You can almost understand that the Primarch doesn't really enjoy or like the current structure of what he considers the great bulwark of the Imperium to be distributed in their current format, and prefers the old Great Crusade Legio standard above all.
That's fair.
this could be expected of somebody who's been in stasis for over 10,000 years.
Yeah.
But
You also said space book is bad.
well, Gilliman can get the fuck off his high horse and deal with it if he wants to. But yeah. Anyway, so you guys are basically left to your own devices here in the Upper Hive. What trouble would you like to get into?
Hang on a minute.
We're hanging on.
Okay, done.
Yes.
Anyway, let's see. I think we were gonna go. I mean, just a quick little relocation grocery shopping. If we don't head to the bar, we can pick up some booze on the either to go, or if you guys really want to stay and get drunk, that's your call.
I'm already drinking.
You turn around, you see Frank is already taking out a bottle of Amasec.
Where the
Like,
heck did you get that?
I don't know.
Hey, maybe we should have him have you head back, wait at the safe.
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna go party.
Okay, so Frank wants to go get hammered. Or
No, I don't want you to hit me with a hammer, you fucking weirdo.
figure of speech, don't worry about it. Gums?
Yeah.
Wanna
Oh
head
no.
to the-
Yeah, I'm going to grocery.
Alright, then the bar, or drop stuff off at the thing then? Bar.
Gums kind of looks like. Wait, what's the question? Let's make sure I hear it properly.
Yeah, you want to head to get groceries. You want to drop those off at the safe house before we go drinking, or no?
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't want people to ruin my ingredients.
What I thought. Sergeant, thoughts?
It'd probably be best to store stuff at the safe house rather than bring crates or bags or whatever Gums is getting to a bar to forget about or lose or spoil.
Are you kidding? Why did I take a box? Why not just take the whole grocery?
If you're gonna start buying out the store, that's not an option.
You said buying.
He's gonna steal it.
You're not gonna use it.
Boy.
God damn it.
Yeah.
See, you can defend it. They're not gonna use it.
They
Things
would
go
not be able
bad,
to
maybe.
use it if you steal it.
Yeah.
It's not stealing, it's borrowing. I'll replace it after I'm done.
With what?
I don't know. We'll see.
Your
Come on, let's
plans
go-
to
let's
replace
go
it with
already.
empty void, that's what.
Let's just go already.
Alright. Sorry, Frank. Gonna have to wait on the alcohol for a bit.
Oh, it's okay. I got my own.
Alright, so you guys are heading back to the safe house then.
No, we're gonna head grocery shopping first, then
Grocery
drop
shopping?
the groceries at the safe house.
So, why don't... Who's leading the party right now?
Can Gums smell grocery?
Not particularly.
Then not Gums.
Navigate surface.
It would be navigate service for whoever's leading the party, yes.
Well, admittedly, I've been kind of steering the decision-making process here. Any modifiers?
You've been around this section of the hive before. I'd give you a plus 15.
Okay. Let's hope this works.
Okay. Yeah. Keith, I mean, in your previous dealings, you haven't actually visited this section of the hive, the area that you go to, but you know of it enough to be able to get everyone there.
Also, signs.
And also signs. Signs help too. Reading signs helps. And you're able to kind of make your way through the throngs of both soldiers and civilians and make your way to kind of like this commercial district of the Upper Hive. Think of it kind of like a strip mall, but with more flying cars. And as you guys get here, you can see that there are a couple different grocery-esque shopping areas. Mostly they're like street vendors selling fresh produce and however it is able to be fresh. How to say this? Protein slabs. There is actually some true real meat, Grox meat to be certain, which is fairly a rarity in 40k universe, and usually only kept for those of the greatest influence. You guys would, depending upon what you're looking for, you'll have to roll for it. So, let me know what you're looking for.
This is going to be mostly gums, honestly.
Sure. Yeah. So Gums is kind of rubs his palms and he tries to give a little sniff of the air to see if he can find like any sort of like fresh meats.
You do find fresh meats, yes. As I described it, there is fresh Grox meat.
Yeah.
Gums. Is that what you're specifically looking for first?
First, yeah.
Roll me a D100. No modifiers, just a D100. Okay. The vendor who has fresh Grox meat has a decent amount there. However, it is at the approximate running market price of 175 throne gelt per pound.
That's
As I
highway
said,
robbery.
It's not highway robbery. This is if you actually want fresh, real meat.
That's actually a
yeah.
decent price.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
Guns
money,
just
but it's a
kind
decent
of
price.
pulls out his little pouch, counts his thrones. He's not even halfway to 175.
Gums, how much money do you have?
Gums has, from looting dead corpses, 43 golden thrones. It is of his personal use.
Yes.
So Gums knows what mats look like, and he knows that mats are not in his favor. 175 grox meat. He tries to put a landmark around the vendor at least. He's not gonna visit now. He will eventually return. But it is in his mind. But so now he goes. So he, after setting a landmark, he goes off looking for some sort of like some. Every meal needs a staple. So now he's looking for like, I don't know, a vegetable stall or some kind of rice
There
stall.
is one entitled. I can hear squealing in the background. You do find one. It says, let's see, what name should I make for this person? What name sounds good, people? Somebody roll me a
Gatsby.
Yeah, somebody roll me a 2d1, 2d10, please.
Coming up. Never mind.
Just be aware, a throne gelt is like a day's labor for an average Imperial citizen.
Minimum.
Yes, I understand that.
No, I'm just informing them.
Okay.
So they're
For
basically
everybody
paid
else.
like half a year for a fucking pound of meat.
And 7.
I mean, that's high. That's high. That's the upper high prices, to be fair.
Yeah, it is.
We're also in the upper hive, though. So
Strangely enough, this person's name is Ray, and the stall reads Ray's Rad Hydroponics.
Okay then.
Yes, I know. That is exactly what you rolled for me. You see Ray. He is kind of kicked up at his stand. You see luscious red things that look like tomatoes. Some
I don't know
very
what a
fresh
tomato looks
greens.
like.
some fresh greens of different kinds, mostly peas and snap peas. There is something that looks like asparagus, and there is other tubers like carrots and potatoes there as well.
This looks all right. And Gums approached the stall and he tries to look for any sort of like pricing tags.
Okay, roll me a d100, please. Okay. And that's all right. So, again, fresh produce is mostly a rarity to the common masses. You guys are in the upper hive. I want you to understand this. And what you're rolling is basically helping me determine what the price for these things are. You are finding that, for the most part, most of these are not too high in price, but there is a markup given the fact that they're not readily available to all populace. You find that the price of most of this produce is a running price of around 76 to 83 throne gelt per, let's call it serving.
Gums gonna rub his chin and he kind of tiptoes to try to look at the vendor. How fresh are these picked?
Oh, sorry. What'd you say?
Gum just kind of tiptoes to look at the vendor. How fresh were these picked?
Well, these have been picked today.
Gum just kind of reaches for the tomato, then kind of pauses, pull it back. You mind if I test it? Because I don't want to get, ripped off or anything.
He basically passes you a tray of what seems to be cut up asparagus and snap peas.
Gum, of course, takes up
one, please.
Gum takes.
Takes the tray and runs.
Gum takes one of each, and you kind of give him a taste to see to feel the texture and the taste at least.
It's fresh, very fresh. For those of you who, if you've never had like actual fresh cut vegetables and stuff,
good.
It's real good. And you even get that slight snap and crunch from the asparagus and peas. It's very good, Gums.
Gum hands back the tray. And he keeps going around the market. He went from meat, he went to vegetables. What else you put in the meal? I've never actually cooked.
Wow.
What the
Well, you got
40k
two main
equivalent of
parts.
rice?
There's a bakery nearby. And your nose immediately catches the scent of sweetbreads. Not to be confused with sweetbread. And fresh cooked breads fill your senses ever so slightly. Don't you have seasonings in your backpack, Gums?
I have salt and pepper.
No, that was what you had back on the ship, because you weren't allowed to use your seasonings because
I don't remember what I had besides salt and seasoning.
I thought you bought like a season. You have wait, isn't a cooking
No, I
kit?
didn't.
Don't you have a cooking kit?
Yeah, I have a cooking kit.
Yeah, then you have your basic seasonings, not just salt and pepper.
Well, okay, I want fancier seasoning then.
Oh, okay. Shit.
There we go.
He wants better stuff, okay?
Do you
better
really,
stuff?
I don't think if the Imperial Guard equivalent of seasoning would have something that I'm used to in real life.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't think 40k has stuff we're used to in real life.
Like 40k equivalent of curry. I don't think you give Imperial Guard that.
Hey, Spartan, how spicy do you like your food?
Oh, absolutely.
He's from
That
Trinidad.
makes sense.
Absolutely.
That should
I am
answer your
from the-
question.
Honestly, it already did.
My island has the third hottest pepper internationally, just saying.
Oh my god, that's
Yeah,
disgusting.
no,
Anyway.
I want to look for the 40k equivalent of a curry shop.
Oh boy.
So you find. You know what? Somebody roll me a d2, please. I just want to see if I can actually use this. Okay. You find a small shopette. It looks okay. It's a little bit, I don't want to say decrepit, but a little bit shadier than most of the other shops that you've seen around the Upper Hive. On the top of it, it has a sign that reads Carl Mart.
I didn't know curry was such a shady dish.
Carl is spelled with a K, by the way.
Carl's okay.
Oh no.
This seems like a place where good specials happen. Angone goes inside.
Thank you, Keith, for rolling a 1.
Thank you, Keith, for rolling a 1.
It's a 1d2. I don't know what you expect.
Because the 2 would have been, I came up with something else.
Oh boy.
Those of you who are TTS fans may appreciate this. Those of you who are fans of Zordon the Bear and have seen videos from like 3 years ago may also be a fan of this.
Oh no.
Angums enters the Carl Shady Mart thing.
Okay.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh no.
So, you enter it, and what? Thank you, Tech Priest. Yes, that is how it reads. Those of you who, or excuse me, does everybody enter?
How
He's getting a
large is
little
the
on guard,
building?
It's, I mean, does anybody understand what I mean when I say shopette?
I think I do. Military style.
Yeah, it's about the size of like a really large gas station, but
Yeah,
smaller than an actual grocery store.
I'll go inside and make sure Gums doesn't steal everything.
Okay. So, you go in and you see aisle after aisle of, your basic foodstuffs, canned bread, canned beans, canned meat,
This is peasant nonsense. What's real food?
Oh yeah, no, a lot of it's just like kind of like peasantry style food.
Spam, and more spam.
Spam, more spam. And then you start getting into the reason why this place may be so shady. There is a small deli-esque kind of like counter thing, right? With a glass, with a glass case, refrigerated.
Yeah, those
that
buffet
reveals,
places.
Yeah, that reveals a number of meats of varying different color.
Gum just kind of raises a bro.
Yeah, Tech Freeze. And a very, 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 very large man, for not being a transhuman space marine, he's quite large and rotund.
Ogren, where's the cook?
I'm the cook. What do you need?
Oh god.
Huh. Well, like I
I
said,
can't actually do Carl's voice. Only Carl can do Carl's voice.
Yeah, that's fair.
Gum was first perplexed at the thought of an ogre cooking, then kind of shrugged it off, and cooking is an art that anybody can experience.
He's not an ogre.
It's a Swedish man.
Yeah,
Gum
I
doesn't
can't
know
do a
that.
Swedish accent. So save my
Gum
life.
doesn't know that.
You do a Swedish chef accent?
No.
Oh no.
Well,
Okay.
No, you
I
can't.
am
It doesn't
a
work.
connoisseur under the guide. Under
You're
the
gonna upset the Swiss?
what?
I am Swiss. Why do you say?
Let's let the man talk. Sorry.
Yeah, that's not. You see, my name is Gums, and I am on a journey, a great journey, guided by the God Emperor above to experience the many spices and cuisine of this galaxy we live in. So I am, in particular, looking for very, very spicy spices.
Well, good thing I just got back on planet. He kind of wipes his nose on his sleeve. Just got something from a death world. Here, try this. He passes you a yellowish looking pepper. Except it has thorns on it. It's very strange looking.
Gums,
I caught a death bill.
Gums kind of rubs his chin and before biting it, he sniffs it a little. Does he see how much it burns up his nostrils?
Not at all.
You sure this is any good?
Trust me, little one.
Gum shrugs and takes a bite off the button tip.
Roll me a toughness check with a -20.
Oof.
Come on, lucky number 7. Oh.
Not quite the 7 you were looking for.
Would you like to reroll?
I would.
Yeah, let me reroll on that.
Okay.
Let me reroll. Let me see what God gives me. God damn
Better,
it.
but
Another 7.
Gums? You take a bite. You chew it. You swallow. Nothing happens.
Are you sure this is any?
Tech Priest, this was 100% ad lib.
God damn it.
I saw an opportunity and I took it. Yeah. You see as the man smiles as he takes back the pepper. And as he takes it back, you then smell the scent of this seemingly harmless pepper.
Wait, so he just bites into it and it just some sort of fume, or?
No, well,
Oh.
if you ever try to smell a pepper that's fresh before it's been cut, it doesn't really smell like that much. It doesn't smell dangerous at all, especially like
Okay.
habaneros and jalapenos, right?
so
It's
in other
only
words, you
after
just
you
made a
break the skin does it
They
actually
release
reveal.
capsaicin.
Yeah, does it actually reveal just how
Okay.
hot it can be.
Volatile.
And much to the same effect as many peppers, on your initial taste and digestion of this, it doesn't seem to be that much. And then it hits you. A slow burn that gets ever so more intense. And you can feel it in your stomach as the acid of the pepper begins mixing with the acid of your stomach. Gums? This is
Gums?
true pain.
So as it crept in, Gum started to pant. As it got worse, he started waving his mouth, and as it hit his gut, Gum started tap dancing in a circle, basically.
The more you breathe and hyperventilate, the hotter it seems to get. You're funny, small man.
You got something to help with that? Because we kind of need him.
Well, there's not much I can do, but and he passes you a stale piece of bread and some Grok's milk. This may be able to take the edge off, but tonight he's gonna be in some real pain.
So lock him in the bathroom. Got it. Keith hands Gums the milk and bread.
Yeah, Gums basically breaks a piece of the bread because it's stale bread, and Gums has very refined taste for being a lowly rattling, and he pushes it in his mouth and gulps down the milk.
Gums, give me a toughness check plus 10.
Come on, lucky number 37. God damn it.
Oh!
Ouch.
Missed by 50.
Yeah. Do you want to reroll that, Gums, or?
Yeah, I gotta reroll that.
Okay.
It's my rolls for the past few sessions where I have to roll
that,
is not very good. I have gone for 0 to 4 at the moment. Oh, piss off!
As you devour the part of the bread, it doesn't taste right, but it does kind of take the edge off a little bit, and it seems to soak up some of the acid forming in your now digestive tract.
When the pain subsided to the point that Gums can actually talk, he kind of just spit it out in his palm and kind of coughs a little. How much?
Sorry, what?
How much? He's busy saying how much.
For the excuse me, for the pepper.
Gums nods very eagerly.
Nah, this one's on the house. And he passes you the pepper that you essentially just bit off. Have fun.
Gum takes it and stuffs it in his cooking kit.
Oh,
he has seasoning.
He comes.
Oh
what the
God!
Well, everything there is coated in pepper juice.
I'm not eating Gums cooking.
Yeah, let's. I think I'll take a rain check.
I think you need to warn everyone of this biohazard he just put in his backpack.
Do we have anything to hold it? Like wrapping of any kind?
Gum doesn't answer anything. He just leaves.
Oh, jeez.
Oh God.
We're in
Thank God
trouble.
I'm wearing a respirator.
So Gum knows where the meat is. He knows where the vegetables is, and he's got himself seasoning. One last visit, especially with said seasoning, would be the bakery that was previously mentioned. Meat.
Is there anything else that Gums would like to do?
Yeah, his last stop will be at the bakery.
Okay, so you head off to the bakery. Give me another 2d10, please. Okay, nice. Okay. So you arrive at the bakery, and you see a woman behind the counter. It's quite a stark difference than Karl Mart. which I'm now going to keep for now on. Alphabusa and Carl the Derange, I'm sorry if you ever see this. I just kind of stole that because I enjoyed the name and I joined the air. I truly love all the work that you guys do, and I hope to see you guys soon. Yeah, right. However, the stark contrast is an air of artistry, in a way. This is indeed an artisan baker. And the sign of it reads, Thalia's Bakery and Goods. As you walk in, it is somewhat humid, given the fact that there's basically nothing but a bunch of ovens going all at once. And you see the woman as she takes out another, about a half dozen loaves of bread and sets it out to cool. The immediate scent washes over you, and it's both calming and delicious. Makes you a little bit hungry. Oh, customers. Hi, how may I help you? Oh, guardsman. Well, how may I serve the Emperor's hammer?
Hold on, I had to check something.
Okay.
So for Gums to exploit this woman based on her reaction to guardsmen, what kind of role would I need to not do
Oh
that?
my
What?
god.
Wait,
Like
what?
fellowship type stuff.
Wait.
Based on her reaction to guardsmen, what sort of role would I need for Gums to not exploit that?
That's a
That'd be
character
willpower.
decision. There's not really a role. It's a character. decision.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
What's going on?
He's trying to determine whether or not he would take advantage of her saying, "Oh, she welcoming guardsmen specifically."
Oh, jeez.
Expect better from him.
There is nothing wrong.
I will
with...
say this, based upon your past role, Gums, you kind of get a little lightheaded. You're getting a little lightheaded, and
It's karma.
the world seems to be kind of like not melting, but it's like distorting it a little bit.
Oh yeah, this is karma definitely for mentioning exploitation. Pepper fuels schizophrenia. So Gun just kind of looks like at least 3 inches off the woman. It's like he's almost seeing double at this point, and he kind of like, hello miss, you see, I need something sweet, like pastry, something small and easily shed up. Something to get the spice of things,
Hmm.
And
Oh, sorry. Wait, wrong guy.
preferably cheap.
The woman suddenly goes,
Woman
Actually,
does the business
technically, in Gums' state, she very well could be. Well, if you're in that much pain, she takes a knife and cuts a piece of the bread off. Try this. She kind of like leans over the counter and like reaches to try to, hand it to you.
Just kind of hops, tries to reach it. Misses by 2 inches. Kind of squeezes his hand. Then he kind of accidentally knocks it off the hand. And kind of scrambles on the ground. Finally finds it, picks it up, and pushes it in his mouth.
It's really good. It's not really going to do much for your situation, but it's fucking delicious.
How much for the loaf?
Well, since majority of my supplies are going to the Crusade right now, I would say roll me a D100.
Wait, 100 what?
Roll me a D100, please.
Oh, I thought she was charging 100 thrown for a loaf of bread.
Depends upon what your roll is.
Just don't roll high.
There you go.
Or roll high. We don't know yet.
Okay. 21% markup.
Oh, there we go.
You're looking at 67 throne guild.
Gums kind of sniffles a bit and kind of rubs his nose. Please, miss. We are very hardworking.
Achilles-
make so. What?
I just wanted to ask, would Emmy still be with us? Because I remember her saying something about having a rather
Emmy's-
significant portion of cash.
What's
Hey,
Emmy, the robot?
Frank, would you be sharing that bottle if Emmy wanted to partake?
Oh, Emmy.
Would you be sharing
This
your
is-
bottle if Emmy
No.
would like to partake?
Mine.
Nope.
Feels bad, man.
So was that? Was that? Oh, that one's yours. Okay. Then yeah, she'll be with you guys. She still would be with you guys. Yes.
All right.
So Gums does puppy eyes at this bakery woman, and he kind of wipes his nose. It's kind of running because of all the pepper. Please, sister, we have. Well, I'm a pretty hungry individual. I eat more than my compatriots, and he kind of gestures as guardsmen, and I have to also provide for them. Can you lessen it?
Ouch. She looks at you. She looks at you and
Some compassion, and he kind of does a prayer, clasps his hands together. Some compassion for the Emperor's hammer.
she looks at you.
For
She
one
goes,
loaf of
"Well,
bread."
I already have to give a majority of my stock to the Crusade fleet, but and Emmy then kind of pushes you out of the way. By the way, the the push is gentle against you, Gums, but given your current state, it's like you get pushed, you lose your footing, and the world just continues to spin out of control for you as you kind of like fall to the ground. Or if you want to roll me an agility check, you can see if you fall to the ground.
Nah.
Okay.
Gums just drops in his
And then
mouth.
Gums falls to the ground, and she just kind of looks at you to the side.
Gums
and
kind of
then-
sniffs, and he kind of his head is woozy.
She gives the woman her the gold, or excuse me, the throne guild. Here, and she goes, thank you, sister. And then passes you the already cut loaf of bread.
Gonna suck it off it. And he kind of took the bread and just kind of pushes it in his. Wait, it's wrapped? Is it?
Say what?
Is it wrapped?
Sure.
Yeah, he pushes
Good.
it in his backpack.
Because the pepper's not.
I mean, you don't want. I mean, yeah. Why would I wrap a pepper for seasoning?
The same reason you wrap a ghost pepper and not touch it with your hands.
Yep.
You do that?
All right.
Suddenly your
You don't?
choice. Yeah.
No. I've went to a market before. I've touched many peppers with my hands.
Let's remember to not touch stuff Gums has touched recently.
You people don't touch.
Look,
Okay.
there are some peppers that actually burn your skin if you touch them, and those are on the high end of the scale.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying. And
Very
for
interesting.
pepper,
Anyways. Yeah, no.
that's basically what we're referring to.
Well, if it burns through the cooking kit, it burns through the cooking kit.
True.
It's not going to melt the
No.
cooking kit, but
Yeah, not as
it
in it
is
melts
going
stuff, it
to
just-
leave a very healthy residue on everything in your pack.
Mhm.
I mean, then if whoever gets stabbed by a pepper-infested knife will just burn to death, I guess.
Anyway,
But yeah.
that's
But yeah, Gum stuffs the bread. He has his bread.
Canned bread.
Um,
Yes, canned bread.
Yes. Seriously?
No, you don't have canned bread.
Okay.
Canned bread is too good for you.
Yeah, I'm willing to move my turn if anybody wants to. If anybody else wants to go anywhere, because Gum's gonna loop back around to the meat place.
Here, I thought we were gonna hit the vegetables first because that was cheaper.
We got the. No, he's going for the meat first because the meat's meat's much more expensive.
Yes, how are you going to pay for that again?
5-year discount, probably.
Again, let's go through somebody else's turn once I planned that.
So, the rest of the people that are in the shop, are you guys just following Gums around, or would you guys like to try to do anything else?
Is it just
I'm
the
just- I'm
grocery
just
section, or is there a mix of stores?
What are you looking for in particular? Most of this is just kind of like a grocery area. Karl Mart did have stuff other than,
Yeah, but that was Karl Mart.
Did Karl Mart have Duracell batteries?
Karl Mart might have had Duracell batteries if you were there.
I'm just gonna be following Gums around, make sure he doesn't commit multiple thefts.
Exactly what the sergeant is doing as well.
And before you become an accomplice. Accomplice by association.
No.
Gums, you're not allowed to steal things.
Says who?
Says the
me.
law, says, Astra Militarum regulations.
Hey.
Says
All
the
these
Arbite
places,
who's probably
all
been
these
following you to
places
past
are
5
owned
blocks.
by tall, regular human beings who have oppressed the humans for far too long. They're just getting what they deserve, which is a low price cut.
Saying that makes you a heretic and a extremist.
Yeah, I think we better take him back to the ecclesiarchy. You might need to repent some more.
Oh, almost
Might
guaranteed.
need to repent some more.
A little bit extra repenting.
All I am doing is just taking revenge on my people. For my people.
Sure.
Time to tattoo the upper eyeball.
And how the heck do people tattoo eyeballs anyway? And this is both in and out of character, because
With great skill and precision.
They use a certain kind of ink.
Indeed.
Very carefully, yeah.
All right. So, what are you guys looking for?
I'll be honest with you. I'm trying to think. I was wondering if there might have been some preset options, but if you're asking what I'm looking for specifically.
Okay. Give me just a 1d100 and let's see what.
No, wait. I think I just came up with something.
Okay.
Lengths of like a small thread, like a 550 cord, paracord, that kind of thing. Maybe some duct tape, construction type store. If that's even an option.
Okay. Roll me a 1d10.
Coming up. Nuts.
Okay. Let's see. You don't necessarily find like a construction store, but you do find kind of like an outfitter store. Let's see. And would you roll me a 2d10, please?
Good thing.
Alright, 8 and 2. Nope, can't use that name. So we go to... You find a store that is named Garth's Gritty Outfitters.
Like this place already.
And the man out front is sitting there just like I'm kind of doing right now. Is sitting there playing with a knife about the size of like half your forearm. And he has an Indiana Jones looking hat similar to that of what Kaladin wears every so often.
It appears Frank's let the alcohol get to his head.
Oh boy. That's because you don't drink that fast, man. Anyway, you see,
Anyway,
you,
yeah.
you see the guy. His store is fairly empty of people, and he's just kind of sitting out front, kind of bouncing his chair on the back two legs, his feet kicked up on the kind of like the overhangings pole or the overhangings support pole.
Mhm.
As he's sitting there, kind of playing with the knife, back and forth. As he sees you guys approach, he takes the knife and tips up his hat. Well, now, y'all are a sight to see. What brings you here?
Out of curiosity, what would I need to roll to identify the knife?
Wow.
Do you have Tactical
Priorities, yeah.
Imperials?
No, but I
Or
figured Common Lore Imperium.
Yeah, Common Lore Imperium could work, yeah.
Shadican Fang?
Not a Catechin Fang. Little smaller than that. But
either way.
does seem to be made of the same blue style steel that Catechin blades are usually made from.
Interesting piece you got there.
One of my own making. How can this lowly Imperial servant help the Imperial Guard today?
Yeah, Keith just kind of clears his throat and, well, personally, I'm just looking for, I guess you could say, common access bindings and such. All rope, cord, duct tape, glue.
There are a lot of fancy words for the calling of a rope. But rope is something that we have. Come on. I'll show you inside. You walk inside. Roll me a perception check.
I'm gonna.
Plus 15.
Glad you said something. I was about to hit submit.
Everybody does. Okay.
Close one.
It doesn't jump right out to you, but you do eventually figure out. It looks like all of this stuff is, all the stuff that one would need to go, like, how to say this?
Off the reservation.
Not off the reservation, more like along the lines of like artifact hunting, right? The standard the Indiana Jones hat was on purpose, right?
An adventurer's shop, basically.
Almost like an adventure shop, a sort of homage to the typical D&D-esque adventure, right? The one-stop shop for all the adventurer's needs. You see meals, prepackaged meals. You see rope. You see grappling hooks. You see, all sorts of stuff that one might need to basically leave civilization for extended amounts of time. You see pop-up tents. Of course, you see ropes of different varying kinds. And all sorts of stuff.
Something tells me our friend from that feral world would love this place here.
Oh,
He's Kaladin.
you have a friend from the feral world. Do you know which one?
Not a clue. He never brought it up.
His cat's from Pyre, I thought he said.
That's what it was. Yeah, pirate cat.
Ah. So he has a pyre cat. Seems like a man that I should meet. Nonetheless,
If he shows up, I'll be sure to try and send him down here.
Please do. Nonetheless, you'll find your rope over there on that aisle.
Appreciate it.
Of course. You see, he
Keith
kind
heads
of
out.
sits there and takes the knife to the edge of his face.
But
Yeah, he's
You cut out.
Oh, sorry. You see him as he kind of like scrapes the knife to the edge of his face, like as one might shave with it, but not actually shaving.
gotcha. So, what kind of rope what am I looking at?
You see.
Tell me, what is the quality of this rope?
Yes, the quality of this rope seems to be a good braided synthetic fiber of some sort. You also do see steel cabling there as well, and you can also see a sort of fiber bundled kind of a rope. In modern day, that would kind of be kind of like a almost like a hempen style rope. Then of course a braided climber's rope. That would be the braided synthetic fiber, and then steel cable would be like a cable that you would use to either lift a great load of some sort or use for vehicles to tow each other.
Anything for more fine motor skill type stuff, like forgive my saying this, but making a bundled grenade.
You don't really see much in the way of like cord, right? But you probably could take the fiber bundles that are used to make the fiber bundle rope and probably take peel them apart and make some sort of a cord. Though its overall tensile strength would be much less.
Obviously.
Make someone a nice little bouquet.
Not exactly what I'm thinking of, but it'll do. I think he pulls up one of the fiber bundles. How much for a few of these?
Roll me a D100. Oof. 75 thrown gilt.
Ouch.
Sorry. For those of you who are wondering, that D100 is a percentage markup.
Dang it. He kind of puts it back and is like, unfortunately for me, I'm afraid I'm going to have to pass on that. Only got 38 on me at the moment. Maybe if I come back again later, I might be able to get some
What's
extra
up, Sandman?
cash.
Thanks for the follow. Well then, not a problem. I'll be here if you need me.
Appreciate it. You
Roll
heads up.
me one last awareness check.
Coming up. Awareness check, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Dang it.
If you detect him throwing that knife at you before it hits you.
Nope.
I would like to. I mean,
reroll.
Would it be better? Would it behoove me to reroll, or?
It's. I will tell you guys that there's nothing, campaign story related going on here.
Okay, good to know.
Unless you create it yourself.
Fair enough.
This is more for more stuff, so to speak.
Got it. Okay.
So you can reroll if you would like to, or you can just leave it by.
I'll take the hit for now.
All right. So you exit, and Garth returns back to his chair, kicks up, and continues with his relaxation. Let's go back to Templar is with Gums. So yeah, let's go back to the Space Marines. Tiger and Vakken, what are you guys up to?
I would be on my way to the to Olympus.
Okay. And Tiger?
I have a very important question for you.
I have a very important answer.
Could I,
No.
to figure out how... Oh,
I'm kidding.
damn. All right,
Go
cool.
ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry. Anyway, could I, to figure
User
out how
joined your
best
channel.
to try and tackle this beast, roll assault doctrine?
Tackle what beast?
the monster living in the Underhive.
Oh boy.
Okay, so you're asking, can you come up with the proper tactic to take it on?
Yeah, somehow try and like lure it out and take it on. Best.
I mean, assault doctrine is more.
Assault doctrine is more immediate use.
Yeah, it's more of how I breach this building, not how do I lure out a demonic alien and
However,
make it fight me.
You do have you do have Scholastic's knowledge of the Codex Astartes, and you do have the common lore of Imperial War. Between that and somebody who has common lore Tactica Imperialis, you probably could, by the two of you, come up with some sort of plan. Here's what I would tell you. You would want to actually come up with that plan yourself, not have me come up with it for you. That's not how this works. Your
Do you have
role basically,
suggestions?
your role would basically be how effective is your plan going to be. That's how this works.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So, for
He's here
instance,
to guide-
let's say that you guys come up with this intricate plan, right? And I had you guys roll to, on common lore, Tactica Imperialis, and Imperial War. The GM would then say, these part of the plans work, this part of the plan won't. You figure it. You can kind of figure out this would be the better route, and then overall, how many successes you have or how many failures you have would determine the overall effectiveness of said plan.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, that's how those roles work. Because they're common lore. They're not, the game doesn't
I just
play.
wanted to pitch assault doctrine for you. Sorry.
You just want to use assault doctrine because you spent so many points maxing it out for no apparent reason.
Don't worry, Tiger. We have that one ability, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, we have that one ability.
Yeah.
Come on.
So, is there anything else, Tiger, that you wish to do?
I mean, I would like to get more information on the situation, like what area is the monster confined in, and like how big is it?
Okay. Yeah.
And the current forces currently out searching for it. And
So,
stuff like that.
We'll jump over to Vakken, and then we'll jump back over to you, and then we'll get back to the team that's on the ground. Vakken. Breezy will catch you up here in a minute. Vakken, you take a Thunderhawk. There you go. A Thunderhawk over to the Fortress Monastery of the Second Legion. Upon arriving there are probably more Space Marines present than you have ever seen in your entire... Well, excuse me, that's not true either. Than you have seen in the past 3 millennia. It's actually a pretty awe-inspiring sight to behold. It fills your heart with ever so slight amount of warmth, knowing that you have so many brothers here at once. You feel better, Leroy?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Cool, thank you. You arrive, and the brothers who are on the Thunderhawk with you disembark and go about to their own, their own machinations, whatever they're coming here to do. Where do you go?
I head directly towards the Gene Vaults.
Very well. You head directly to the Gene Vaults. Nobody stops you, as most everybody's familiar with who you are, the Chief Apothecary of the Third Phalanx. And by no means does anybody question you being in there. You do see one of your battle brothers who approaches you, knowing what you're doing there, and probably having some amount of knowledge of your past, or what you guys had to encounter. At least you can suspect. You know this man to be the illustrious chief apothecary of the Second Phalanx. And we will call him... I need to
Sparkles.
get one of my Astartes names.
Name is Sparkles.
No, it's not. Okay. Herodotus Bohr. I'll go ahead and put that in chat for you.
Spell that, because I'm...
Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson.
Oh. I probably misspelled that, but
I know for a fact Achilles is typing right now. How the fuck do you spell Herodotus? D-O-T? How the fuck? What? Why did they pick such a goddamn smart name?
I don't think it's I either. I want to say it's either A or O.
You made up the fucking name.
I just wrote it down.
Oh, I found
But you
it.
should know how it's spelled.
Yeah.
You get to choose how it's spelled.
All right, people, calm down.
No.
Yes.
Yes, I refuse.
All right, so I was actually close. Yeah, that's it. That one right there.
It's like at work somebody spelled Chris with a Q.
What?
No, it's not. It is nowhere near the same.
What?
Anyway, Herodotus
That's
Boar,
strange.
the chief apothecary of the Second Phalanx.
What a boring name.
Shut up, you. He walks up to you, and I'm sure you had trying times, apothecary.
Yes. It is always hard to witness what we had. It is common to see, as I'm sure you have as well, many of brothers fall in battle, but each time it hurts the same.
Indeed. We have already lost a little over a dozen every single time we attempt to attack this mutant that got released from Hansel Hein's lab. Nonetheless, it is our duty to continue to fight.
As we are, and as it shall be. But how is the battle on the planet? Are our brothers at least able to die in glorious combat, or do they suffer the same fate as Tiberius and Cassicus?
Well, since the Primarch has ceased direct attacks upon the, Hansel Heinz experiment, the other attacks against the mutants themselves have been far more fruitful, and have revealed that they are weaker than the experiments. Nonetheless, for every one we kill, there seems to be 3 more that come back. They seem to be multiplying somehow, and no one knows how.
Was any data able to be retrieved from the laboratories?
Scraps, mostly. It would seem that as soon as the creature escaped, the lab went into a critical state, destroying majority of the data. The Mechanicus is attempting to deal with that now, but their work is slow and bores me.
Yes. I do have some data from my time in there. If it helps, I can share it between you and the other apothecaries. What has been done is horrid. I can't even imagine the fate that awaits that man should he get in my hands.
Indeed. Yes, this would be indeed helpful. The other apothecaries and I can spend our time poring over the data, attempting to find some sort of means to stop this plague that is overtaking the Underhive.
Yes. And make sure you always double check with previous records if any are recoverable. It is always repetitive in history where I've seen things always are built upon actions in the past, it's always better to relate towards something similar versus trying to decide it as being something new.
Yes, of course. You need not worry, Vulcan. We can handle it. Now tell
I'm
me,
placing my. Good.
how are things with Tiger? I know that this cannot be
User disconnected from your
easy
channel.
for him, being so far away from the main force.
The Clusiac is tough. The Clusiac has always been tough, and it's always been. I've always looked up to him in that sense. But like you and me with their brothers, I believe it would touch him to know that we understand the trouble he goes through, being placed in a position as such to take care of menial tasks, almost besmirched from the position he used to hold. It is tough on him, and the Clusiac does not like to show it. But I will inform him that there are those present who care for him, and that many of our brothers are worried about him.
I've always found it interesting, ever since the return of the Primarch, on how cold he can be. And it's not easy for any one of us to be separated from the group. But there is wisdom in his actions. And the fact that he chose... And the fact that he chose you and him to lead a force alone to take on what can only be understood as a seemingly impossible situation is great honor. Nonetheless, stay strong.
I thank you for these words. They honor me.
You honor us with your service. Take some time. Reacclimate yourself back to the Olympus. You'll find that many of us look up to you and your work.
I thank you, Heritage.
Yeah. He puts a gauntlet hand onto your pauldron, and a sign of brotherly affection, and then returns back to his own work. You are left alone.
Yep. And I continue to my walk to the gene banks.
Oh, I'm sorry. That discussion was in the gene banks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I proceed to perform the procedures of storing the gene seed of Tiberius and Cassicus.
Their names are entered into the Hall of Heroes, and their numerous or their extensive time served within Legion is recorded into the archives, and you say your own praises to their service, to both you and Tiger. Is there anything else you wish to do?
Kind of just as I complete that, just kind of look at the whole area and just kind of acknowledge myself that each minute, each combat, each hour, day, year, this list just grows longer, and just what is our duty to make sure it does not grow as fast as it does.
Okay. Back to Tiger. What would you like to do, Tiger?
Information gathering on the situation.
Okay. As you head up to the command deck, a rare stroll for you, but nonetheless one that must be taken. You see the Primarch over looking at the hollow view of the planet itself. A section of it basically highlighted and zoomed in on which you understand. Very nice fucking.
Oh, apologies.
A section of it highlighted and zoomed in on, which is basically the High Beerus, which you guys are in. From there, you see a numerous different areas that are also highlighted in red, which, upon further inspection as you walk in, you can tell these are entry points into the Underhive. A couple of Imperial commanders are present. Actual officers, not NCOs, as they are examining the entirety of the map itself and arguing and discussing, both at the same time, about how best to try to invade the Underhive or try to best stave off the growing horde that is the mutagenic army that they've taken to calling it. Anything you'd like to say or do?
On a quick listen, can I get a gist of what their main course of action are?
The current favored courses of action are gathering up actual heavy weapons and tanks into the Underhive and basically trying to blast their way through. The typical guardsman favored assault of full frontal assault, throw as many men at the problem as we could possibly muster, and eventually the problem will solve itself through pure attrition. Another less favored but at least considered option is the use of localized incendiary devices to basically burn out the Underhive completely, sealing off all ventilation shafts completely and hermetically sealing the ventilation shafts and passageways, so that basically all the oxygen would just be sucked out of the Underhive and everything would die based solely on asphyxiation. The third and least favored of all the assaults is a surgical strike into the Underhive and attempts to once again take out the to take out Hansel Heinz experiment, or they're currently calling it Hansel Heinz's monster, as an homage to Frankenstein's monster, and hoping that the cutting off of the head would eventually cause the rest of them to go feral, in which then a full attack upon all concentrations of the mutants would then take place, attacking them now when they don't have a leader and are completely thrown into chaos.
I'm gonna hop on the Astartes command that people who are in the room probably discussing, and I'm gonna try and get the information of, just to clear things up. The entry points, are they currently like an ongoing like battle like in the entry points between or is it like if you can go in but you'll probably get assaulted as soon as you get out, and occasionally there are raiding parties?
The understanding of the current entry points. These are the actual entry points into the Underhive. So how Underhivers get to the lower hive to do work, or how Adeptus of Arbites enter the Underhive to conduct raids, right?
Right.
They are not under constant attack. However, they're also not just controlled entry points. They are points that are being attacked periodically. And roll me either intelligence or logic check, whichever is higher. You can add a plus 15. I'll give you a plus 20. I'll give you a plus 20.
Gotcha.
Okay. Tiger, you begin to notice that there's a pattern to it. The attacks are not random. And much like the story of a Tyrannosaurus Rex that was testing, or excuse me, much like these stories of a group of raptors that were testing their paddock cage from an ancient story called Jurassic Park. These creatures are also periodically testing the water to see where the points are weakest and where they can perhaps gain upper hand. They are not random. It is the sign of a much greater intelligence.
I'm gonna poke around the command net, see if anybody's notices yet, or like speak of it and see if anybody has figured it out.
You see,
already,
as the Primarch takes a notice to your, I'm not going to make him roll for that because he's going to succeed anyway. You see, as the Primarch looks towards your direction, doesn't really acknowledge or doesn't make an attempt to say hi or anything, but continues with his discussion with some of the other commanders.
What you could do, Tiger, is you could roll assault doctrine based on what you know of of how they would the best way for them to assault the positions of what information you have on them and the defensive positions.
I like that idea. Also, what was that? Did Dad notice me?
Daddy Senpai?
You can almost be certain that the Primarch did notice you as you began to get closer, but did not say anything. You could tell there are pole marks from every single phalanx here.
Has anyone said anything about what I said, or?
Oh, what did you say?
Oh, I was basically saying, I noticed that they're like kind of testing the waters that are not random. Has anybody picked
Okay,
up
I'm sorry.
on this?
I thought you were keeping that to yourself and continuing to monitor the situation.
No, I was.
Give me 1 second. I need to do a number of different rolls. Chat, I just want everybody to know that Breezy has sent me a picture of a storm that he's driving in. I don't know if
he mentioned that in the text here, but daggum.
Oh, Breezy's okay.
Okay. Yeah, okay. We can roll with that name.
Yeah, Exorcist, I saw.
Oh, sorry.
That name and
I'm assuming these are all pole marks, right?
Yep. I just need to put down a couple of names here for so I can keep track of them as well. And did I have him already copy down?
Gotta keep them goddamn lobsters in check.
Dude, I have 3 different actual written down journals, plus the things that I have in Roll20, plus the things.
No, I'm talking about the message on here. I'm not talking about you.
Oh.
He's talking about the thing I said. I think that's what Gums wanted to be. I think that's what he thought he'd be doing when he signed up for the guard.
Signed up, he says.
Exactly. He's a abhuman. He didn't exactly get to sign up. Just one day, a man with a club walked up there.
Yes, I want to know how I'm gonna explore the galaxy. I want all the world's ingredients. Oh yeah,
I'm gonna beat the lobsters to death.
Hey, with a high enough survival check, he could make a club.
I get a weapon and food.
Use a lobster as a club. Whenever it breaks, you can eat it. When it breaks, you just eat it.
And finally, these are not all the pole marks, but these are a few of the particulars.
Time to write down all these names.
Oh, I was already doing it.
I'll give a head nod to history. In order, Lucius Parada is the hallmark of the 5th Legion. Or sorry, the fifth Phalanx. Terranio McCowan is the hallmark of the 7th. Menelaus Hollerine is the hallmark of the 9th Legion, and Marcus Aurelius is the hallmark of the 1st. Correction, I'm sorry, no. No, wait, yeah. No, he is, because Ajax is the hallmark of the 2nd. Oh, and if you guys don't have that already written down.
We have just written it down.
Okay. And then that makes you and Octavius the hallmark and commander of the 3rd. So, boom.
Gotcha.
Make sure you guys send me that link, by the way.
Should have it, but I can resend it.
I'll resend it to you, then pin it.
Thank you. All right, because I know that we do a bunch of lore after the show without actually talking about it. All right, so okay, so the in order, Lucius Parada favors the idea of trying to basically incinerate the Underhive and suffocate the mutants. Menelaus and Terranio favor the idea of a surgical strike, and Marcus Aurelius and Ajax prefer the method of just a full frontal assault. The Primarch hasn't actually shown support to any side yet. And upon you entering the room and then noticing the pattern, he turns to you, still silent, as Ajax and Octavius, who is in the room as well, but yet having not yet shown favor to any side as well, Ajax looks at you and goes, "And what is that supposed to mean, Reclusiarch?"
It means that what we are facing currently is definitely not the full force of these mutants. And it seems that they are trying to see which side is weakest and which side they can assault themselves.
Are you saying that these vile reprobates actually are intelligent?
Not to the mutants we have faced, no, but whatever is behind it, the Hansel Heinz's monster, does show at least some intelligence. We've known that far in the attack on the lab.
Well then, by all means, Reclusiarch, enlighten us. What information do you have regarding Hansel Heinz's monster?
Well, it seems to be an abomination. It has psychic powers and is has parts of a lot of creatures stitched together. It has the psychic potential of what's the Tyranid one called? Zoanthrope.
You know that it has Zoanthrope, Hive Tyrant, and I think even Lictor capabilities or parts attached to it.
It has the psychic powers of a Zoanthrope, the body of a Hive Tyrant. It is incredibly a tough opponent, and I wouldn't put it past it to be psychically controlling these assaults with some degree of intelligence.
Yeah, it does. Very well. As Lucius begins to speak up. Then what do you recommend, Ecclesiarch?
If they are looking for weaknesses, why not show them one?
You're proposing a trap of some sort.
Something like it. If we manage to show subtly that maybe one of these sides are better suited than the rest, then maybe we can catch them on a full frontal assault where our forces are strongest, when in reality they... And maybe if the psychic monster tries to lead this assault itself, maybe we can somehow cut the head off the beast in its push. I assume it does not like being pent up in the Underhive.
The Primarch then kind of steps forward a little bit, putting a hand on both Lucius and Ajax. This is something to consider, though we must be careful. Something of that, well, to be quite honest, monstrosity, and made up of that many pieces, is not something to take lightly. For right now, we will bolster the defenses twofold. Ensure that there has no way of getting in. Double the patrols, and have the Imperial Guard make sure that they are patrolling the areas with twice the strength.
I would like to ask the Imperial Guard officers in the room, what kind of armaments do the guards on the ground currently have?
Very well. There is Tacitus Abkaminer, excuse me, right here. Imperial Commander Regiment or Regent right now for the Crusade. He's kind of like the equivalent of a Lord Commander. So basically, like the Astra Militarum's number one guy. And he is a grizzled old man, probably somewhere around 200 Imperial Standard. Obvious signs of rejuvenate treatments multiple times. And looks like he may be due for one soon. But he has seen his share of battles. You can see the battle scars quite plainly, and even one of his eyes has actually been completely replaced by a bionic replacement. His hand is also completely bionic, replaced. Looks like some sort of a disruptor weapon has literally cut off his arm at the forearm, at the elbow. He steps forward. Well, sir, we have approximately... Well, excuse me. Sorry, that's the wrong fucking statement for that. Well, sir, most of our forces are armed with las guns and hotshot las guns. I do have a few Kassakin cohorts that I can deploy down to the ground. They are armed with hell guns, and if necessary, I can issue plasma guns, but I'm not keen on issuing plasma guns straight to the front line to guardsmen who are already on edge. They tend to cause catastrophic problems.
I'm going to suggest something to him in a bit, but first I'm going to ask some information about the expeditions that we currently have that have gone into the Underhive. There have been expeditions, right?
Yes, Marcus Aurelius is the one who speaks up. I deployed a excuse me. I deployed a contingent of scouts down to the Underhive. They managed to only have 2 of the 8 return. At which point I then deployed a kill team to investigate. That was more fruitful. They reported that the mutants there are possessing psycho-like abilities, and the kill team that managed to come back reported a run-in with the Hansel Heinz's monster. It has grown significantly in strength since the last that you reported on it. It seems that it possessed multiple psycho-like abilities, and has even been able to tear apart armored vehicles asunder. Any attack that we do upon the beast itself must be a coordinated strike.
Interesting. Thank you for this information.
Luziak.
I'm gonna turn back to the officer and tell him, it seems that on our expedition to a Forge World we have returned with multiple Volkite weaponry. I believe it would be best first used in the fight for the Underhive. How long do you think it will take to get squads of men trained with the Volkite weaponry and sent down there?
Well, well, sir. Volkite weaponry hasn't been used since the Great Crusade. At least not by the Astra Militarum. It will take some time, likely a couple weeks, possibly a month. I wouldn't be... Well, to be quite honest, sir, I'm not confident with at least a month's worth of training. And I would prefer to have Mechanicus forces train us in these weapons, since they are the only ones that have used them since the Great Crusade. With that being said, I could just give them to the Guardsmen right now and send them down there.
Give me 2 squads of your best learners, and they shall be given to them first. We will get the Mechanicus and those we have to teach them as quickly as they can. And we will see at least their effectiveness in the use of the fight, at the very least. Plus, I believe it will be a great service if we use these weapons against the monstrosity, and I would like at least 1 or 2 squads with the sufficient weaponry.
I don't doubt the weapon's efficacy, Reclusiak, but it will be done.
Very well.
The Primarch then speaks up again. Very well. I believe we have a plan. Are there any other questions? Ajax speaks up. I still believe a full frontal assault would be our most effective form of combat. Ajax, I know and adore your love of battle. I have since the beginning. I do not want to spend the lives of our legion so frivolously, especially not against an opponent that is capable of ripping a Land Raider in 2. Caution is the path that we must. Caution is the path that we must take until we know more. Very well, Lord Primarch. Reclusiak Tiger, do what you may. Do what you need to. Get us any information that you can.
Very well. I believe I have exhausted my wisdom here. It is best I go where I am needed most. My blade is sharper than my mind, as some here may know. If anything were to come up if anything were to enlighten you as of what to do, know you can guide my blade wherever you may. And he's gonna walk out unless anyone else has anything.
The rest of them kind of look back at the map as you then leave, just out of earshot, then begin seemingly going back to the arguments. These are all, as you understand it, being one of the oldest members of the Legion. All these commanders have never actually served next to each other. In a war room like this. So it's essentially,
pains.
well, it's a bunch of egos now all fighting against each other, with one that's trying to control it all. It's basically like the 700th.
Hey,
I'm gonna go prepare something.
Okay. What would you like to prepare?
is it a sandwich?
No, I wanna see if I can. Cause I can't do it like right now. I'll have to like actually prepare it myself. But I kind of want to do like a speech broadcasted to all the Astartes currently in the Crusade. Just one like kind of rallying call to both like announce my presence here, and as well as maybe try and get them on the same side.
Okay.
A rallying call, I'll have to figure out what I have to say. So probably not today. But something epic, something great.
As long as it doesn't carry passages from Mein Kampf.
Right.
1 second, I'm just typing something down real quick.
Happened in 40k before.
I've gotten through so many ledgers, holy cow.
Are you handwriting them?
Yeah.
I'll just type them.
Alright. So, back to you all on the planet. Liru. Frank. Roll me a toughness check. Plus 10.
Liru?
Do.
Okay, sorry. Honestly, I was making sure he was awake. Uh-oh.
Liru, you're drunk.
Woo!
Meanwhile, Madmarker, Keith, Gums, Alarian, Liebert, you all are still at the grocery while this is all transpiring up in space. What would you guys like to do? Or are you leaving the grocery to finally go to a bar?
I left a servo skull with them, and I'm gonna go to the safe house to make sure there's no squatters.
You do not know where the safe house is.
I remember being given the cords last time we were here, just that we never physically went.
I don't know about that, unfortunately. Because nobody, by the time that you joined the Crusade, there was nobody ever went to the safe house ever again.
Just when someone told me where it was. Oh well.
It might have been mentioned that it's in the upper hive.
Then he'll just ask about it instead.
Yeah, that's fine.
You mentioned a lot of you mentioned a safe house within this area. And why don't you provide me the coordinates for this place?
Keith raises a hand. I'll take you there personally. Wouldn't hurt to refamiliarize himself with the area anyway.
Understood. He just leaves one of his servo skulls and locks and basically makes it lock on Gums. Make sure it doesn't do anything heretical or criminal while he's gone.
Gums probably needs to cook, right, Gums? Oh, he's AFK.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
He's AFK. Yeah.
I think he still need to get some vegetables and meat.
Well,
Good thing he doesn't have any more mutant meat.
I think most of our thrones are back at the safe house anyway.
Yep.
This seems to be a more expensive area, so it might be prudent for us to return to the safe house to either get more thrones and then go somewhere else, or
Likely, it would be best to go to some place such as the Middle Hive. The quality will decrease by a reasonable percentage, but the price will drastically reduce. End of the day,
most of us,
the slight change in probably taste won't matter.
most of us are guardsmen. If it doesn't taste like corpse starch, it's something new.
True.
I don't understand his fascination with cooking food, but I will humor him.
So,
Well, let's just kind of pull Gums along, and we got locations for the good stuff. We'll go looking elsewhere in the mid-hive later, maybe. For now, we drop off what we got at the store, pick up some cash, and then we'll head off to the bar.
all right. So, does everybody head to the safe house? Minus Gums, who.
I think we're dragging Gums.
Okay, cool. It's not hard to drag Gums, though it may tire your arm out a little bit.
He's got his comrades to help us.
I've got a servitor.
Yeah, there we go. The servitor picks up Gums and walks him to the safe house. So, you all arrive at the safe house. It's if you've ever visited a house when it's like on the market, but like all the power's been turned off and stuff. That's pretty much what the safe house looks like right now. You guys
got dragged to the safe house.
You guys get
Or back?
Your biometrics are still basically keyed in, so one of you basically does the retinal scan and is allowed to go into the home, and you guys enter it. It looks, for all intents and purposes, untouched since you guys last left it. Some stuff has been repaired and replaced, and it's almost like you guys were never there, or anybody was ever there. The servitor puts Gums on the ground and returns back to its master, and you guys are at your safe house. What would you like to do?
Wait. So
yeah.
what spoils the Gums get? I got the bread, I got the hot pepper.
And that's it, unfortunately.
We
had to come back and get cash anyway.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen. What was our credit line again? It was like 1,000?
Hang on a minute.
1,500.
1,500. How many people are here right now?
Hang on a minute. I had it under shared items a while back. Last I
What
checked,
the
it was
fuck does that
49.20.
mean? Shared items.
4,920 francs.
We're not going to spend it all on buying meat and vegetables.
No,
we are not.
I know. But how many of us are here?
12?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus comrades.
Are we counting comrades?
Are you
Comrades do not count.
I don't
Sensing
count the comrades.
as sentient enough to buy anything without somebody holding their hands.
Comrades do not count towards credit line.
Gums, that's very inappropriate of you, but you treat yours like shit anyway. Okay.
Already
Here's the
pulled
deal.
some cash out.
What do you mean you rolled cash out?
Already made it a nice, even 4,000.
You got 4,000?
In the bank, technically.
Okay. How many of us are here?
5.
What's 4,000 divided by 5?
Are we really going to be
600?
dividing that cash?
Yes.
They were just
No,
like, that he has free money.
Okay. So we all get 800, right? 8, 16, 32, 4. Yeah. 800. Does that sound fair? Everyone gets an even portion of the cash. Yes?
Fair,
No?
I suppose.
I mean, I could argue I want more because I've saved some of your asses before, but for the sake of argument, let's just keep it fair.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
Be safe.
We all get 800 thrones.
Okay? Okay. Yeah. I need a new bottle anyway, man.
Oh, don't you worry. Where
Well,
we're going,
I guess
we're
I'll
going to be
just
getting
add
plenty
800 to
alcohol.
my thrones then.
Easy. Easy money.
Well, sucks to be the rest
Well,
of the party.
Well, they ain't here. They ain't
Like I
got
said.
the money. I got the money. You got the money. The midget has the money. That's how it works. You
I just
snooze, you
realized
lose.
we really did just left all Jack, John Mason, and that's it.
I don't
Actually,
see no John Mason man around. He ain't here. Therefore, he ain't getting no money. He dead. Sucks to be him.
No, he's just sleeping or something. I don't know.
Well, he snooze, he lose. Do you not say
Indeed.
that here?
I don't know. Anyway, we got the cash divvied up. Gums, go ahead and stock up what you want here in the fridge before we head off to the bar. All right?
Gums takes his cooking kit, and he extracts the half-eaten pepper and kind of pushes it into a corner somewhere away from everything else.
Maybe wrap it if there's something like that around here.
What you got? What do you want? Do you want me to use my underwear? What do you got?
Hang on, let me roll a scrutiny, see if there's any kind of wrapping or whatever.
What's the tiny one speaking about?
I don't think aluminum foil exists in the 40k millennium.
Why
I
would
found something.
Why would it? It seems like a very convenient thing, and 40k is all about inconvenience.
What the hell are you looking for?
Wrapping?
For what?
The pepper?
Just put it in the cold box. We have a cold box in this place, right?
Yes.
Thank you, magical voice in my head. Ah, just shove it in the damn cold box. It'll be okay.
Yeah, it's in the fridge already.
I mean,
closes the
you
fridge.
didn't cut into it, right? It's like solid on its own. Because if you cut it,
No,
then yeah, you're gonna
he
need to
bit
wrap
it.
it. He bit it. Why the fuck would you bite it?
Oh, speaking of which, Gums, your stomach is now fighting you. It is not.
Roll.
It is not a comfortable feeling.
Roll parry.
Gum bursts very loudly and kind of rubs his gut. His face is all red, and he.
No, outside. Outside.
What's
Not in
bathroom?
here.
Gum just kind of leaves. Is there a bathroom somewhere? And Gums kind of leaves the kitchen.
Outside.
No. There's a bathroom somewhere in here. I remember. I had to spend a night.
Gum goes looking for the bathroom.
Outside.
Frank?
Roll a perception check.
I don't want that thing to go bathrooming in here, man. I saw what it did to that pepper.
No, I'm talking like an actual bathroom to use, you know.
Yeah,
toilet,
Gums, you find the bathroom.
sink.
It is the most explosive diarrhea that burns.
Oh,
It is burning you from the inside.
I'm gonna go sleep on the ship.
Wait, so is the bathroom soundproof or what?
Kinda.
Hang on, let me check. Keith walks outside
Okay,
and
then
closes
nobody
the door.
hears the rattling, squealing, and agony,
Balls.
basically.
Yeah, right?
And he wants to use this as spice, don't forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
want to remind you.
Has
I don't
anybody
get
has
food.
anybody ever seen what a ghost pepper does to a person?
I don't want to.
It's not pretty.
I've seen what a Carolina Reaper does to someone. It wasn't pretty.
I seen what Trinidad Moruga peppers did.
Hold on, I'm gonna figure out where on the scale whatever you just said.
Trinidad Moruga peppers. Like I said, it's like the third hottest by now.
Yeah, it's like it's like singing Diner Parasite Alien from Spaceballs.
Yeah.
That's so good.
I'm pretty sure Gums all this rest of the session. He's battling the toilet, his guts, and the pepper at the moment.
All right, so Gums, for eating a bite of the pepper and failing the toughness check, how many times?
Twice.
Yep.
4
You're
times.
gonna be here for a couple hours.
Did he take the thrones with him?
His thrones. We all got ours.
But did he take 800 thrones with him?
You can assume that, yes.
Yeah. So, who's going to the bar? Now armed with money.
Me.
Back.
Keith.
Bar, fish sticks.
All right. Frank is going. Keith is going. Anybody else?
All
Mad
right.
will go.
I'm
Mad
going
Marker is
elsewhere.
going. Liebrecht is not going?
Elsewhere.
All right.
I'm
So,
gonna go shop for boom boom bang bang attachments.
alrighty. Keith Garrett, Frank, and Mad Marker. You guys know the way to the fancy bar. Are you going to
Dancing
the
Saint,
fancy?
I believe.
Yes, yes it is. Are you heading to the Dancing Saint?
I would hope so.
Isn't that the one we blew up?
Yeah, I don't think that exists anymore.
That is the question.
Stand by.
How about going to a place we literally blew up? They're gonna hate us because the big Steve did bad things.
Not if they
Wait,
don't
wasn't the
remember
one
you.
that was blown up a cantina?
Yes, but it was we called it a cantina because we made a fucking jest about Star Wars.
Oh.
Yeah.
The Dancing Saint is the one that got blown up because that's the one that Hatuni created.
Awkward.
That's the one Hatuni created, and the terminology of the Dancing Saint was something that was supposed to give you guys a hint. That one's gone. The other one, that is called, and I have it somewhere in my notebook, somewhere
Whoops.
in one's notebook. And you guys know about this as well because it's the one that McNull went to.
Oh, I thought for sure the Dancing Saint.
No, the
The
Dancing
one-
Saint is the one that housed a heretic thing, and you guys basically just said, fuck it all, it's dying.
Tiger did at least.
Yeah, but that
No,
was
that's
him
what
being done with a melting bomb.
Oh, look, there's my notes about you guys, about the new player. And go task about monkeys. Nope. Further back.
Throw it back.
Holy
Hush.
shit. Was this like fucking done in like episode 3 or something?
It was a long
Yes.
time ago.
It was a very long time ago.
Fucking hell. Alright, we're
Haven't
making
we
new
reached a
names.
year yet?
We're making new names
Okay.
because I don't even think I fucking gave it a name. We're gonna call it the Oliver Twist.
You heard him.
That sounds like a gay bar.
You're the one who picked it.
I didn't pick shit.
Because
Sure,
I want to
you
be,
did.
I want to be clever. We're gonna call it the Olive or Twist.
Nice touch.
Thank you.
Oh, stop.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Why
gonna
is,
draw my
every,
side
why
arm.
does everyone's community
I'm
have,
gonna
like,
wrap
the
my
worst
lips over the
puns?
barrel. I'm going to not pull the trigger. Anyway.
All right. So, you guys find yourselves at the same bars that McNull found himself in episode 3. The Olive or Twist is kind of a high-class, hoity-toity sort of a bar with very expensive drinks that are made with some very expensive amasec and other spirits, and seems to be a little more upbeat today than what you had McNull describe it as. Of course, you're also going to it during the nighttime and not during the daytime. You enter in, and everybody turns their eyes on you because you stand very much out of place. And
Yeah.
where would you like to go? Sit at a bar, sit at a table. You do see a number of waitresses in skimpy uniforms that are attending to tables.
Whatever you pick.
Ah, dang it. Hang on a minute. You said bar or tables, right?
Bar or tables, yes.
Okay, Fudgehead, if you want to get any information, we should
The
go to the
tables.
bar. If you want us to chill, we just go to the tables, man.
That's why the D2. 1 was bar, 2 was tables.
What's a
Go to the
D2?
tables. You go into a table. All right. So you guys find a table by yourselves, a little bit out of the way. Of course, the being guardsmen, you guys prefer your back to the wall, so you do find one that's kind of back to your wall. And
Did you
after
just
about say what?
Did you just pull an Aragorn on us?
No. No.
Just messing with you.
I do that in D&D campaigns by myself, but not for not
Fair
for
enough.
players.
Fair enough.
No, this is actually if like for instance if we ever meet up in real life, I will always have my back I always sit with my back to a wall.
That's fair.
But yeah,
A lot of people that are past where military do it.
Yes. Windows are a weak spot. Anyway, so you guys find yourselves in a somewhat tactically advantageous position, and after about 2 or 3 minutes, a waitress comes and says, "Hello, gentlemen. What can I get for you?"
This is gonna sound weird, but you got any kind of piece? Got something we could look at with the price tag and whatnot? What?
Cheapskate.
Yeah, go ahead.
Not particularly, but let me go see what I can find.
Thank you, ma'am.
Another one comes by and offers.
Oh no, what?
800 days.
And this place, let's not forget, this place could eat that pay up in minutes.
What pay? You mean the money I just had us all like borrow air quotes?
Let me have the three of you all roll perception, or not, sorry, perception, awareness checks, please.
Dang it, I'm re-rolling that one. Okay, much better.
Okay. And Frank's
I'll
drunk.
fate to
I'm drunk,
succeed.
so I don't give a shit.
And Frank's drunk. Are you going to fate roll it, Mad? Or are you going to fate it
Fate
to
to
success?
succeed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mad Marker and Keith, you guys are not drunk yet, and see off to the distance a out of sorts looking gentleman who seems to keep constantly casually glancing back at you guys. Meanwhile, the waitress comes back with a piece of paper with handwritten drinks and prices on it.
Oh my god.
Is it in High Gothic?
Roll a d2. Let's find out. If it's
I mean,
2,
dang it.
it is.
Okay, I doubt it would be, considering the fact no one that actually would speak High Gothic would ask for the fucking prices.
Lamau.
Luckily, it's not. I so wanted it to be so that it would just make you guys' life that much more hell. But it's not.
Okay, I'm not too worried about the drink names, just looking at the prices.
Okay. Most of the prices seem to be around the 25 to 50 throne per drink average.
Okay, I was worried we'd be getting 200 to 300.
There are
per
those
drink.
there too.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And just to try and help smooth things over, Keith points to the one that's 100, worth 100.
Okay. Would you like that in bottle or glass, sir?
Does that? Heck with it, make it a glass.
Very good.
Not trying to get as hammered as this guy, and he points a thumb at Frank.
Frank
waves.
She smiles. And for you two gentlemen.
I'll order whatever's around 50.
Okay.
Do you have Gleese?
What?
Roll me a D100.
Do they have geese?
Gleese.
Oh.
It's a drink. It's kind of like a... Yeah. It just so happens that we do. Yes.
Yeah. Give me a bottle of that.
Okay. The waitress then walks off and heads back over to the bar. Again, you see the gentleman in the corner. Kind of like shoot a glance towards you and then back towards his drink.
So, you want me to go talk to the guy or what?
What guy?
The idiot that keeps glancing at us.
I mean, if you want, sure.
I'd say wait a
Hey,
couple
wake
minutes till we've had a drink, so it looks like we're being casual.
Fair enough.
What guy?
Don't worry about it, Frank.
Well,
He didn't look
point it out
threatening.
to me. You two clearly know something. Help me out. What guy?
Keith points to the guy.
Oh shit, that's a guy.
Yep.
He looks shady as fuck.
Oh,
And then
Guess
again,
what
we
the-
look shady as fuck. I mean, we're like 3 armored dudes.
yeah, but at least we got our IDs on our shoulder.
What does that mean? How do you know I'm over 18?
Keith
Bruh.
points to the shoulder pad. I'm talking
It
about the
says
regiment
my
numbers.
age on my shoulder? Holy shit, what else does it say on the shoulder?
Yeah,
Thank
you're
goodness.
700, Frank.
Holy fuck, I've been old. I'm old, shit. Oh, I don't feel 700 though.
That's
The way
probably
I
the
kill
alcohol.
people with a heavy bolter, man, I feel as young as 25. Maybe it's because I have the wisdom of a 700-year-old? Who else is 700? The Reclusiarch? No, he's younger, right?
Keith points at his shoulder pad. Me, Mad Marker, most of the regiment is actually
700?
what it says on the shoulder plate.
Damn, we old. That explains a lot, man.
Some days, man.
All right.
See, I want to think you're fucking with me, but I actually don't know because I don't know shit right now.
Yeah, it's because you're drunk.
No, it's because Yeah, okay. Yep, I'm drunk. Yeah, not that I frickin' got yeeked in the head in the last planet like a year ago, and I still don't know what the fuck's going on, but that's okay. Yep, let's just pretend it's because I'm drunk. Maybe if I drink more, my memories will come back. Maybe not. Who knows?
Sounds like a great idea.
Well, one way
Thank
to
you,
find
voice
out.
in my head.
No problem.
It's like nothing ever changed.
I feel like Frank is going to turn into Deadpool at some point.
Wait, he's not already.
Won't he need to be competent first?
You would need to
Deadpool
have
is
some
competent.
particularly good melee skills.
I
That's for sure.
mean, he stopped someone from suiciding.
I mean, if I wanted to be genuinely honest, on the top of my melee weapons, I do have something called a penis that has a 1d5, and I genuinely don't remember when I wrote that.
I'm sorry, your penis does 1d5 damage?
Apparently.
You gotta duel a bloodthirster with it.
I don't know. I don't know where it came from.
Wait,
it's
is
just
it-
there.
I don't know where my penis came from.
I just looked down and I had it.
Wait, my only damage.
Why can it be 1d5 damage? I don't know.
What kind of damage is it?
It's
Oh,
obviously
jeez.
energy damage.
No,
It's
what kind
under
of
melee
piercing
slash
damage, yeah.
throwing?
Can somebody
What?
okay, click
Okay.
this shit right now.
Yeah, this is
Did
getting a
you
little
rename
excessive.
your bayonet?
No, it's
Sounds like a
over my
bayonet.
bayonet.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Oh,
lord.
Oh boy.
I think
You
it's
think
supposed
now.
to be my mono edge knife. I just named it as my I don't know why I did that.
You
See,
figured it out,
Frank
man.
genuinely doesn't remember things. That's how bad it is now, man.
It
Oh
has
my
a pen.
God,
His
what?
penis
Help
has
me
a pen
out.
too.
Why does it have a pen too? I don't know what's
jeez.
going on anymore. Where's the Gleese?
So
Do any of you guys
after-
know what Gleese is? I don't either.
It's kind of a low tier kind of spirit. That's in the lower hives. It's essentially made out of engine oil. In upper hives, it's made out of an oil-like substance and is typically very thick.
No, they have moonshine
Is he
here.
drinking grease?
No.
Wait, Glees? Isn't that something else?
I thought. Hold on. Spell it for me.
Gleece. I think. Frank would be arguing with this in his head as the other two guardsmen would stare at him like, what the hell is he on?
Hey, Frank.
I'm
It's
not
an
used to
expensive
this.
alcoholic drink that can be served both hot or cold. It is distilled from the fruits of the gless tree and is extremely popular on the movements of Paragon.
Originated Glees
Basically,
comes from various quality. Yeah.
it's basically kind of like an alien wine.
It's my baby.
Yeah.
That's Amsec is wine too, though.
Yes, but this is well, Amasec is Amasec. This is very, very different because of the fruits that use.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about something else.
It happens.
Hey,
That's-
ask if they have moonshine.
Tell them about the planet. Tell them about the planets.
Oh boy.
So, the waitress comes back with your 3 drinks. You two gentlemen have essentially varying forms of Amasec. One is a little bit thicker than the other. The $100 one, is a little bit thinner, but a little more flavorful. Frank has Glees, which is it's served in a chilled glass. It has a kind of purplish tint to it, and smells somewhat fruity. It's like a futuristic version of sangria, except expensive.
Fancy.
As you two have your, all of you have your drinks. Let's see. I feel like I should make Liru roll another toughness check, but he already failed enough. Yeah, 5 to... No, wait, no, never mind. I'm sorry.
It's already failed enough. I just don't point him rolling anymore. Damn.
Frank, give me another toughness check, minus 10. Okay. You don't get much more drunk. You don't get much more drunk.
That's okay. This one's meant to be seen.
As you guys get about halfway through your drinks, life in the bar picks up a little bit, but that just means more conversations. Not really anything else more lively going on. Again, this is an upper hive bar, which tends to be a lot of administratum and nobility here. Most of them are discussing the day-to-day work kind of a deal.
Occasionally a business thing or whatever.
Occasionally a business meeting, but not really much more than that. The only thing that really seems to be going on is the one somewhat loudly dressed individual, if I'm correct about that, who kind of keeps shooting strange glances towards you guys. It's not really so much as... Well, actually, why don't you guys give me, those of you who notice him, or care enough to notice him, give me a fellowship plus 15. Nice job.
Even better with Mad Marker.
Oh, damn!
Shit, Mad Marker. Oh, yeah, that's right, Mad Marker's... Well, he also has a 3, but fucking hell. All right.
Yeah, he's built for fellowship.
Yeah. Matt and Keith, you guys kind of notice like he's not really looking at you guys like trying to motion you over there or grab your attention. It's almost like he's looking at you like kind of what are you doing here, and partial in a way of like when you notice somebody that you think that you may know but you're not sure, but you're nervous to go talk to them, kind of a deal.
Don't you think this is like a little bit crazy?
What, drinking in an upper hive bar?
Nah, look around you, man. I don't know why you two keep staring off to one random corner, but you gotta learn to look at the entire scene. Look at the entire scene right now. Tell me what you think.
So we stand out like a sore thumb, just like that guy over there?
No. Fuck that guy over there for a sec. Just look at the scene right now. What do you notice? Don't focus on us, just focus on the scene.
People drinking and talking.
Yeah.
Exactly. We know what's going on right now, though. The lower part of this place is getting trashed by some weird thing that I somehow didn't release with the button, but that's besides the point. What you gotta focus on here is that even with everything falling apart, the wealthiest here act like nothing's going on.
Probably
And
because
that's
the
just how
underhive
the
is
world works.
usually falling apart. Because it's
Well,
the
yeah,
underhive.
There's a bunch of ships up there. There's people dying down below. It's like a bunch of rich motherfuckers in a walled-off castle, you know? As
It's called the Hive
everything
City.
burns around. God, you don't have to overanalyze everything, man. I'm trying to make a point, but you know what? How about you just keep drinking and maybe you'll see what I'm talking about.
I mean, they're literally separated by floors, pretty much by wealth rank.
Okay, but if they literally knock down the base of the floor, then the whole structure falls apart.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe you shouldn't be drinking so much.
Never
Maybe they
mind.
just
Go
don't-
talk to. If you keep focusing on Fudgehead McGee over there, go talk to him. I'm just gonna enjoy my glaze.
Frank, would you want a bunch of freaking out rich people?
Yes! I think it would be funny.
I don't think that'd be very good for public order, though it might be funny.
Yeah. Valid points on both sides. Keith then
goody
scoots
little
out of his
two-shoes.
chair and heads over to the other guy.
Great. Now you freaked him out. Now he's gonna go make a fool of himself. Which waitress do you think he's gonna hit on?
I think he's going to talk to the other guy that stands out.
He's in the guys?
I don't know. I've never asked.
So as Keith walks up to the nervous-looking individual, I imagine.
Not nervous, just kind of like curious. But I will let Tech Priest take that from here.
All right.
Roll for initiative.
So he's looking at his drink by the time you walk up to him. So when he looks over, when he notices you are there, he does jump a little bit because it seems like you teleported from one side of the room to practically right next to him. So he turns to you, is startled. He goes, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing? Hey, oh, what you?"
He kind of holds up a hand, relax, trying to figure out why the heck you're looking at us all shifty.
You guys seem a little different. Almost feel a little familiar. I don't know why.
Keith looks to the table, then back to him. Is like, it's probably because you saw a few of our brothers in arms and